Hello, 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 world. It is I, your favorite little line gamer, coming at you with a game that has a name called Magium. Magium. And I am here with my dictator.
Dictator?
Yeah, you're dictating.
I guess that's true, isn't it?
You're dictator. With my dictator.
Narrator.
Everything's shaking. Lydian Lux.
Hi. Everybody.
This is a game recommended by Diley, who won a bet, and so I am streaming it. But I used to be a D&D player, so I feel like this is not too far off my wheelhouse. I just hate reading. So,
I got Torella.
I know nothing, and we're just going to dive right into it since we're running a little bit late. Happy Father's Day to all that it is applicable for. And we'll just get started.
It's the one next to Clock App on the very end.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you want to play any lady characters or something?
I can play the lady characters.
Okay. They say there is a very fine line between bravery and stupidity. As I stand here... Oh, wait, this is the main character. He's probably a little derpy. As I stand here in the middle of this forest, gazing at all of the explosions far into the distance, I realize I may well have crossed that line to a point of no return. My name's Barry. I'm 28 years old, and I could quite accurately be described as your everyday, ordinary guy. I have no talents, no particular skills, and no academic background. The only thing that defines me is my lifelong obsession to become a mage. It's what I've wished for ever since I was 5 years old. It has been my driving passion throughout my life as I've constantly amassed knowledge about mages and traveled the world in hopes of finding ways to make my dream come true. After endless years of searching through dusty tomes and weathered parchments, I finally found a way to do it. The catch? I need to first win a tournament against the most powerful mages in the world. Sounds crazy? That's probably because it is. But it's far too late to go back now. The only way that's left for me is forward. As I stand here, knowing that it's no longer possible to return to my normal life, I can't help but feel quite...
Wait, any month that includes a Friday the 13th will always commence on a Sunday?
Oh dear.
What an interesting pattern.
I mean, that's literally just math.
Pattern.
Is it not?
Pattern. It could be a mathematical pattern. I just like
True.
patterns.
Okay, cool.
God.
How do you feel?
I feel judged, actually, for just liking patterns.
Did you absorb any of what I narrated?
I did, but
okay.
I don't understand why he has to, why would a noob take on the most powerful mages?
I don't know. I hope that they fill in that gap, because it's like saying, I want to be a tennis player, but first I have to win at Wimbledon.
Yeah, it's like, no, that's definitely not how that works. But I feel like this person, Barry, would be excited. I would be afraid.
Okay, so are you going to play as you see Barry, or make your choices for yourself?
Ellie, I can't even accept the premise.
Okay, so you're gonna go by what you think Barry would be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotta. I think he would be excited because his lifelong dream is about to come true, maybe, if he doesn't die.
Mm-hmm. Excited about this whole thing.
There's a lot of words.
Yes, it's a text-based RPG.
And okay, wait, hold on. Let me put some
Background music on.
Yeah, let's put some background music on.
Do you even have it as a source in this? Probably not. Just add it. There. Yeah, with the plus.
Media.
Audio output. Actually, yeah, media source. You're right.
Existing. Wait, I have an idea.
Maybe we could do Harvest Moon instead of your... I mean, whatever you want to use.
Oh, I was actually gonna see if YouTube had like a D&D-inspired.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
In which case, it'll just play through desktop audio, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. 1 second. Portal 2. That doesn't look like the game. Okay, D background music. Ambiance. Like this. Calm fantasy music.
How does it sound?
Yeah, it sounds. You wanna hear it?
Sure.
It's doing like an intro, like.
Seems like good background. I'm into it. How's the balance? Are we balanced well with the music?
Oh yeah, because it seems like it's about hitting 35, and we're only hitting about 35 too. So maybe increase us a little bit and like maybe notch it down.
Yeah, that makes
It's
sense.
supposed to be like. Okay, here you go.
Yeah, I mean it's ambiance, so it doesn't need to be loud. So
Yeah.
all right. Excited about this whole thing. Maybe I really am completely out of my mind. I would have expected to feel at least a little bit scared about all this. What are you looking for?
Where's my pillow?
What
You
pillow?
moved it all the way over there?
No. What?
Oh, well, I need my pillow for my back.
The
bear.
Okay.
Yeah, polar bear. I have no support!
Oh dear.
I'm not supported!
Mom needs
Not the
support,
book.
Amaya.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, chat. We're locked in now.
Okay.
Good.
I would have expected to feel at least a little bit scared about all this, but instead of that, I get this constant tingling sensation that won't go away. I'm feeling that I'm closer to my dream than ever before in my life. All the terrible dangers that await me seem distant to me, and all I can really think about now is at the end of the tournament, when I win this, I'll finally become a mage. There's an explosion maybe a few hundred feet from my location.
Sorry.
The fights have already begun, and one of them is much closer to me than I would have hoped. There's no way I can get in a fight with any of the mages at this point. I need to avoid combat as long as possible if I'm to survive until the end. So wait, is this like Hunter x Hunter style, where they're like
Oh my
out
gosh.
like Greed Island?
And then you just have to. Oh well, remember
Or actually in the Hunter exam too. Yeah.
Yeah, the Hunter exam in the second one, you have to just beat each other up until
I imagine it's gotta be like that, right?
That would be awful though.
Why?
Well, because he doesn't even know magic yet. He's just a noob.
Fair. Okay. All right.
I was like, you gotta be on the screen if you're gonna be talking now.
Exactly. I was thinking that. I head in the opposite direction from where I've heard the explosion. As I'm heading towards the end of the forest, I start hearing voices. There are 2 mages talking in a clearing a few feet away from me. I hide behind a tree and take a quick glance towards the clearing. It seems the 2 mages have just finished fighting. One of them has the appearance of an ordinary thug. He's wearing a simple stained white shirt, leather pants, and a belt full of throwing knives. His untrimmed black beard hides a wicked smile. Just by seeing the confidence in his eyes, I can clearly tell he's the victor of the skirmish. The other mage is wearing heavy armor, but his shield lies on the ground beside him, and he's barely holding his sword anymore. Taking a closer look at the mage in armor, I notice his head is bald, his skin is dark, he is likely in his mid-40s, and he has a scar on his forehead, shaped like an X. I've read of a mage matching this exact description, who went by the name of Darren, and he was quite legendary. But would he lose so easily to some common thug? The mage in the white shirt answers my questions as he addresses the one in armor, while casually playing with one of his knives. The legendary mage Darren, the savior of the eastern continent, the healer in armor. They say you've traveled the world, saving countless villages from destruction, that you've once fought 10 rock golems by yourself, only to defend a small child. I guess this goes to show you should never really trust legends, I always knew all of those tales about mages as strong as giants were just codswallop. Hell, if all those legendary mages that joined this tournament are as weak as you, I'm going to win this by sundown. He starts laughing, but he stops suddenly. Wait, who's there? He says.
Thank you for the follow, Mason.
As he turns towards me. I quickly pull my head back behind the tree and press my back against it, trying to breathe as silently as possible. I know you're there, coward. Show yourself or I'll have one of my knives find you.
Ew. This is how I do D&D. I need a little bit distraction. Give him to the count of 10. Give who to the count of 10? The guy? What's his name? They said that,
Oh, well, he said he's gonna lead you through the best route in terms of achievement and lore, if that's alright.
Yeah, and I said sure, which is fine. Oh, look, your head is a wheel.
Oh, I get dizzy. Who's
But
it
no.
gonna be? Vampire, baby.
Vampire.
Vampire.
Vampire. I need, we should, key out the background of my bikini one and be like, summer!
That's cute.
But none of these say count to 10.
He's showing yourself or not will change a scene later, too.
So, stay silent, that is what you mean. Hello, Ranjanka. I see no reason to show myself to you. I probably would stay silent if it were me.
I keep my breathing as silent as possible and don't say anything. He must be bluffing. He never got the chance to see me. He'll give up once he sees there's no answer. Have it your way, then, the thug says as I hear him throw a dagger towards me.
Oh, dear.
The dagger whooshes past my head, and before I get the chance to react, it turns in midair and flies right into my left shoulder, pinning it against the tree. I let out a muffled groan of pain as I reach to pull the knife out. You're not gonna get that knife out so easily. My knives have a life of their own, and they only listen to me. Now that I know where you are, I'm going to...
Hi, Alex.
He pauses. So you're a Stillwater, eh? Trying to get me to lower my guard by acting like an idiot? Trying to lull me into a false sense of security? Is that your plan?
No.
Well, it ain't gonna work on me, 'cause I'm too smart for that, you hear me?
I feel like this is a lot of...
His sudden change of attitude towards me is not completely unexpected. The existence of Stillwaters is one of the main reasons I've dared to dream that I might have a chance to win this tournament. Stillwaters are a very rare breed of mages that are known to be incredibly powerful. One of them is said to have destroyed an entire city in an instant some 20 years ago with only a flick of his fingers.
Oh my.
The city of Almanar was said to have been one of the greatest cities on this continent, but it was wiped right off the map just like that in a single second. Such is the power of these Stillwaters. But what even is more interesting about these Stillwaters is that you can't differentiate them from normal humans.
Maniacs. Then how did
Normally-
he know?
I don't know, I guess we'll find out.
He's just ooh, these genocidal maniacs.
Normally, you can sense the magic flowing from every being. You don't need to be a mage to do it. By sensing their magical aura, you can tell how strong mages are before engaging them in a fight. Stillwaters, however, have the same aura as normal humans, and if you were to run into someone that seems to have almost no magic in the middle of what is essentially the greatest mage tournament in all of history, what would you be more inclined to believe? That an average human was somehow suicidal enough to join the tournament only to get massacred? Or that you're facing one of the strongest and rarest kinds of mages that exist in the world? You don't scare me, Stillwater! I'm gonna fill you with holes and you'll end up begging for mercy! I bet your legends are no more than they were for this sad excuse for a mage standing next to me.
Oh, goodness.
Well, there you go, the count of 10.
Ah. I'm the homicidal maniac. Thank you so much, Alex. This is my vampire form that I got commissioned almost maybe 2 years ago. I don't think I would have commissioned something for my set. Well, I don't know. Maybe my first or second year. But thank you. Achievement unlocked. Off to a good... What?
Off to a good start.
But it says restart game.
Hold on. I'm going to give you to the count of 10 to get out of my sight, I tell him. Ha! Empty words, that's all you've got. Arm yourself, fool. Today I become a legend. Once he's done talking, I hear the mage throw several knives toward the forest. I desperately try to pull the knife out of my shoulder, but it's no use. 5 of the mage's knives race past me and turn in midair just like the last one did. I try to somehow get out of their way, but the knife in my shoulder is still keeping me pinned against the tree. The last thing I feel is the sharp pain of all those knives impaling me as my consciousness slowly starts fading away.
What?
I think Diley's trying to get you all of the achievements, including dying ones.
Oh, Lord. Wait, like restart from the beginning?
It looks like it.
Oh, my Lord. I don't feel like it's that serious. I don't want to keep dying.
Alright, so we can skip through this, I guess.
Okay.
So many dumb ways to die.
Sure.
Dumb ways to die indeed. Alright.
I was like, wait a minute. Okay, stream's over. Goodbye.
I breathe in deeply and try to appear as calm as possible. I step out of the forest and into the clearing, facing the mage with the knives directly. Who are you calling a coward? I ask him. The mage pauses for a bit as he measures me up and down. A Stillwater, eh? He finally says. He tried hard to keep his composure when asking his question, but the tremor in his voice betrayed him. He's afraid. His sudden change of attitude towards me is not completely unexpected. They explain Stillwaters again.
I warned you from the start.
Is this?
I just can't believe
Oh.
Oh, you got ads, baby.
Wait, that doesn't make sense because I'm in the pro account.
I think the pro account is your personal account, isn't it?
But they're like, see? They're connected. That's weird. Sorry about that. I was like, is someone redeeming a sound redeem? And I was like, wait, no, that's ad. Okay, sorry. There you go. I was just like, nope, something's in my ear. Hi, Zeke. Welcome to the D&D simulacrum stream.
Oh, dear.
Simulacrum.
And they explain Stillwaters again. Let's see. Stillwaters.
They should be called Steel Bloods.
That would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. You don't scare me, Stillwater. I'm gonna fill you with hoes and you'll end up begging me for mercy. I bet your legends are no more than they were for this sad excuse of a mage standing next to me.
I don't know. I feel like...
Why would you choose the same thing?
I just wanted to make sure because this time we showed ourselves
no, fam.
versus getting stabs in the... Okay.
Fam, we do not have days to do this.
I just thought maybe this time...
Diley said he would guide you through all of the choices.
But maybe this time would be different.
Alright. That's funny, I tell him. That's almost the same thing the people of Ulnar told me before I burned their city to the ground. The mage was about to go for his knives, but now he stopped. He's looking at me quite intently, without averting his eyes for even a second. You're bluffing, the mage says. I guess there's only one way to find out then, I tell him, as I feel my heart pounding in my chest. The few seconds of silence that followed felt like the longest seconds in my life. After a long pause, the mage says, finally, You're in luck, Stillwater. I'm feeling merciful today. I'm gonna be out of your hair just as soon as I finish this guy here. You do that and you'll regret it, I say without thinking.
Anime pro tag.
My last sentence seems to have taken him aback. What, are you kidding me? You're gonna defend this lowlife? If I have to. Do I have to?
I mean, it seems like there's only one choice here, buddy.
The mage's face contorts into a scowl, but he says nothing. He doesn't seem to want to push his luck any further. He reluctantly puts his daggers back into his belt, and then he spits on the ground next to Darren.
Hey.
I'll remember this, Stillwater. Don't think I won't. I never forget a face. You'll rue the day you messed with Cutthroat Dave.
I don't know, it seems like if we were the Mage of Almar, if we were cool with genociding a city, we would have just genocided this man.
True.
Like, what's the bluff for? Just murder him.
And the same goes for you, healer in armor. I'll be seeing the both of you again soon. After he finishes his speech, he turns away in disgust as he heads into the woods on the opposite side of the clearing. Once I can no longer see the mage, I let out a big sigh. That was close. That was really close.
Yeah, you died twice.
I can still feel my heart beating rapidly in my chest. And stopping beating because I got stabbed a few times.
Yeah, like 6 times.
You do that and you'll regret it? What was I even thinking? Was I
were.
trying to get myself killed?
Yes.
This is a life and death tournament, Barry. This is not the time for you to start playing hero. As I try to calm myself down, the mage in armor sheaths his sword, picks up his shield from the ground, and starts walking towards me. You had no obligation to save me, he says. But you did so anyway, at the risk of your own life. I cannot let such selfishness go unrewarded. Selflessness. The opposite of what I said. Go unrewarded. I, Darren, vow this day that I will offer you my protection from this moment and until the end of the tournament. Tell me, brave soul, what is your name?
I'd be like, literally, genocide of the city, don't need protection. Bye!
His speech took me by surprise. It's Barry. My name is Barry. Wait, your name's Barry? He tries to contain his laughter.
I thought it was my turn to pick something.
No. You're trying to jump the gun as you're playing Harvest Moon while I'm reading.
How dare. Taking care of my animals.
He tries to contain his laughter but fails miserably. He was trying to sound solemn and dignified just a few seconds ago, but it seems it didn't really take him long to drop his act. Now that's the weirdest name for a mage I've heard in my life, especially for a Stillwater. Do you have something you want to tell me, Barry?
I got it.
Diley says...
Oh,
"Tell me
I
the truth."
read it.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think being truthful is fine because he already saved us, so it's not going to be like, never mind, I'm not going to save you.
True.
But like, if he is a Stillwater, because he said to himself, that's the only hope I have is that I'm a Stillwater, right?
Wait, sorry, say again?
He was like to himself, like, that's the only hope that I have, that I'm a Stillwater.
You
Or
mean-
that people will perceive him as a Stillwater?
Oh, I mean, I think that it was at least just in the case of coming across this guy. In general, he wants to just avoid confrontation with people.
Okay, but he also, like, needs experience points based on
Yeah,
What
I don't
is-
really understand the
what is
premise yet.
Like, the premise seems inherently
I'm hoping that he says something and we understand, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense. And we could also just, like, blatantly, like, my parents had a weird sense of humor. That's not necessarily lying because you're just saying your parents are weird. I mean, yeah, we're thinking it's going to be clearer later, but from the jump, I am anti-premise.
I'm not a Stillwater, Darren. That thug just assumed I was and took advantage of the situation.
And I took advantage.
And thank you.
That changes the whole dynamic there.
But you're not one of the locals either. Otherwise, that spell of theirs would have alerted us the moment we sensed your presence.
Oh.
He's talking about the spell the organizers of the tournament cast on each of the participants before teleporting us here. We aren't allowed to hurt the humans that live on the continent, so their spell warns us when one of them is near. If what they said can be believed, their spell's supposed to stop us even before we try hurting any of the locals. If it's accidental, then it simply stops us before doing it. If it's intentional, it eliminates us from the tournament and sends us back.
Oh.
Their spell is also supposed to act as a means of communication with the organizers. They said they'll transmit the objectives to each of us individually. It's funny, all those careful preparations on their side, and they never even bothered to check if I was a mage or not. Hell, what am I saying? They probably didn't even care. So you must participate. You must be a participant then, Darren continues. What reason would you have to participate in a tournament against the most powerful mages in the world? I'm after the same thing as every other participant in this tournament, Darren, but I'm not sure how wise it would be to tell you of this. Oh. You okay, Amaya? What's up?
She's just being a babe.
She's making a weird noise. Okay.
Of this, tell you of this.
Yeah. I'm after the prize that's being offered to the winner, the Magium. No one knows exactly what it looks like or what it's made of, but everyone knows the fact that it's the source of magic in the world, and that it can only be found on the continent of Varathia. All mages seek it. They crave it. They're certain that if they have access to it, they can increase their powers 100-fold and become living legends. And although it's a common misconception that the Magium is only used for learned mages, my studies have led me to believe that the Magium is so extraordinary that it can even turn a normal human into a mage. Okay, well there you go. I don't know how he thinks he's gonna win the tournament, though.
Yeah, like, what? Is he just gonna hide in the bleachers and hope everyone kills each other, and then he just comes out and is like, banana peel?
I mean, I'm just thinking about, like, Fortnite, where you can hide the entire game and make it kind of far, but in the end, you probably still have to kill somebody to win.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've searched.
Buddy.
Oh,
the Lulu.
I've searched very long for a way to get into Varathia, but the only way one can travel to their continent is by receiving a direct invitation. Very few of those are sent yearly, and the people being teleported there are being held under direct supervision for the duration of their stay, and returned with no information regarding the coordinates of the place. But when all hope seemed lost, the announcement came. A worldwide announcement by the kings of Varathia that they were organizing a tournament where every single mage in the world was invited, and the winner would be granted access to the Magium. I knew then that there would never be another chance like this.
Wait, but how do you even get an invite? I'm sure they don't send it to regular humans.
It seems like it was kind of a broadcast. It says a worldwide announcement.
So, like, just yelling into the void of the
Whatever
world?
they have for worldwide announcements in this world.
Okay, I see. It's just... okay.
Just assume that there's some sort of magic projector in the sky or something.
Like in Hunter x Hunter.
Sure.
Hunter.
Sure. Why did you join this tournament, Barry? Darren asks me again.
Tell him I'm looking for a cure for my 6 sisters. Apparently they have newspapers. I just feel like, didn't like Harry Potter, they were like, oh, only relevant people get relevant information. Just blasting it to humans for no reason.
I think so. Honesty's the best policy.
I mean, I feel no need to lie.
I'm after the same thing as you, Darren, I tell him. I'm after the Magium. It's been my dream ever since I was little to become a mage, and the Magium can grant me that wish. Come on, Barry, you're going to have to make up a better lie than that if you want me to believe you. He stops and looks me straight in the eye.
So this is just stupid to everyone then. Otherwise you're like, yeah, that's one way that people naturally become mages.
By the gods, you're being serious! Barry, I commend your bravery and determination, but you do realize you can't win this entire tournament just by bluffing, don't you? Of course I know that! That's not the only ace I have up my sleeve, but what about you? They say you're one of the strongest mages in the world, so how does one as strong as you get bested so easily by someone named Cutthroat Dave? Oh, that. He's sounding embarrassed. You see, Barry, I may be powerful, but that doesn't mean I don't have weaknesses. It turns out one of those weaknesses is that I never really managed to master the shield properly. The shield spell? The one that casts an invisible protective layer around yourself?
Hello, Heiko. Thank you for the follow.
But isn't that one of the first spells any mage learns?
Continue.
It is, but it's not like I can't cast it at all. I can defend from magic just fine. It's normal weapons that I have a problem with. This is why I wear armor. This is why I use a sword and a shield. I first started using them because I couldn't use the shield spell properly, but soon I started tailoring my magic around them. In my very fighting style, I found a master that would teach me to fight with weapons, and I used my magic to enchant them. Then, after every fight, I'd just use my white magic to heal my wounds, like so. He demonstrates it by raising his hands in the air and making a white light appear all around him. As the light shines, his wounds start closing and the blood fades away. The cutthroat's knives had a life of their own, and there were many of them attacking me simultaneously. If I had a proper shield spell to defend against them, defeating him would have been child's play. but defending against all those knives with my shield and sword alone would have been impossible, regardless of my combat skill. All armors have their weaknesses. All he had to do was go for the armor's joints repeatedly until he wore me out. Why are you telling me this? Shouldn't you be at least a little bit worried about revealing your greatest weakness to someone you just met? Hey, you just saved my life, so you can't be that bad, right? This is a woman speaking now.
Pardon me for interrupting,
I hear a woman's voice from behind the trees.
but would you by any chance be Darren, the legendary savior of the Eastern continent?
Checkpoint reached, game saved, let's go. Both Darren and I turn around at the same time. We see a slim, tall figure standing behind us, with long black hair, fair skin, and a very serious look on her face. She's wearing leather pants, a long-sleeved white blouse, and a green hooded cloak. She appears to be somewhere in her early 20s.
I agree, Gatorella, but I guess a human can't train. I guess he needs the item to become a mage, and then he can...
Yeah, I don't really get it.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe it is a you're born into it kind of thing.
They're born with it. Maybe it's
Magium! Yeah. That's it. Okay.
Okay.
But that's not all there is to this woman. I can also sense a strong magical aura all around her. An aura that couldn't possibly be coming from a regular human. Could she be a banshee?
What?
My heart starts beating rapidly again. That night from 15 years ago is coming back to me. I can see it vividly, and I can still hear the laughter. That sinister, high-pitched laughter.
Oh dear.
Will it never stop haunting me? I breathe in deeply and try to calm down. This woman can't be a banshee. The feeling I'm getting now is too different from the one I got back then. Does that mean she's a mage? No, that would be impossible, and yet...
Why would
Barry, whispers... Oh, sorry. Barry, whispers Darren. Don't be afraid. I know white magic. I can purify her. I realize Darren must have also sensed the magic coming from the woman and concluded that she's been possessed by a banshee. Banshees are parasitic spirits that need to inhabit bodies in order to survive. They usually spend a few weeks inside a body in a dormant state before taking over. During this phase, the host may develop magical powers. Once a banshee is in full control of the body, they say she has awakened. The only way you can save the original host once she's been possessed by a banshee is to use white magic to purify her before the banshee is fully awakened, which basically means killing the banshee without harming the host. However, the purification technique operates on the assumption that a woman cannot have magic powers of her own. They call it purification, but all the technique does, in fact, is to completely eradicate the aura that gives off the strong magical vibe, with the purpose of also eliminating the banshee along with it. On the other hand, if the aura does not in fact belong to the banshee, but to the woman herself, the purification would be nothing short of a death sentence.
What?
No, wait, listen to me, I blurt out. This woman isn't a banshee. So what, you're suggesting she's a mage then? Barry, women can't be mages.
Excuse me.
There hasn't been a single recorded case of a woman mage in all of our world's history. Every time a woman's developed magical powers, it's been because of a banshee. Every single time. Don't you think I know that? But this one's different. If you try to purify her, you may end up killing her. How can you be so sure? Because I've met a banshee before, up close. Have you met a banshee before, Darren? No, he admits. You just said you trusted me enough to tell me your greatest weakness. I'm asking you to trust me on this too. Can you trust me on this, Darren? Darren gives me one long look, and then he sighs deeply. All right, we'll do it your way, but I'm keeping an eye on her.
So they're having this whole conversation while I'm just standing there like, you debating killing me right now?
I think they might still be whispering, but when it said blurted out, I was like,
That's the thing about D&D too. It's like, yeah, people wouldn't just be standing there while you're having a whole ass conversation about them in front of their faces.
Yeah. Well, I'll read this last part in a whisper. I swear, Barry, if it turns out you're only saying all of this because of her looks, I'm going to. This is you.
Would you guys mind telling me what you've been whispering about for the past minute?
The woman asks us.
There's an achievement for saying you were gonna make a pass at her. Oh no.
What's it gonna be?
Well, I feel like... Wait, what are stats? Oh, I am watching... Okay. Achievement. I just want to be honest. I'm gonna play Honest Abe.
We were discussing whether you're a banshee or not, I tell her.
Oh.
She says. She appears shaken by my comment.
Well, I'm sorry to have bothered you then.
She continues.
I'll be on my way.
As she turns to leave, Darren calls after her. Wait! You didn't let him finish! We've already concluded that you're not a banshee. You can stay. She turns back towards us slowly.
I can't... But then you would just say, I'm not a banshee.
Right?
She's just like, okay, well, bye. But like...
She's trying to keep her expression as blank as possible, but there was a slight trembling in her tone as she asked her question, and her eyes are a bit watery. It appears she's been holding back tears. Of course you can, Darren answers. Now, what was it that you asked me in the beginning? The woman's expression is slowly returning to normal as she asks her initial question again.
I was asking if you were Darren, the healer in armor.
I am indeed, answers Darren. What business would you have with me?
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense.
No.
No? Okay. Glad we're on the same page here. I require an escort. I'm not certain I can survive this tournament by myself.
Sounds sus.
But like, is that one of the rules? You could just have someone, because then it's not really, yeah.
Well, you can do that.
Well, then it's like a team fighting thing.
Well,
but then
you
how
can
do you
team,
split
but then when you get to the end,
yeah,
you gotta fight
you gotta,
each other.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard of all your deeds of valor and all your legends, so I thought that maybe...
Say no more! I will grant you my protection for the duration of your quest.
But you're already protecting me!
From what you say, I would surmise that you're not actually trying to win the tournament.
No, I'm not. I'm looking for a friend, and I have reasons to believe that she's somewhere on this continent, but I don't have any specific leads just yet. For now, I just need to stay alive.
Who is speaking this?
Yeah, that's another thing.
I'm gonna assume this is Barry. Then you can join us. We were just about to get out of here. We're way too out in the open right now. Wait. Oh, I think that's you. Yeah, I think that's you.
Us? You're planning to travel alongside this Stillwater? You can't trust him.
Actually, he's not a Stillwater, just a normal human, Darren corrects her. Great. I'm wondering if he plans to blow my cover every single person we meet from now on.
Is that what he told you?
The woman asks.
And you believe him? He's just trying to get you to lower your guard.
I mean, if you were a Stillwater, you could just kill him, right?
And
Without needing
also,
to
like,
lower his
she
guard.
still didn't answer whether or not she's a banshee. The fact that she was crying makes you believe, like, she's like, oh no, I've always been caught and killed.
Mm-hmm.
And now she's like, oh, I'm prejudiced against you. It's like, bitch, we almost just killed you. Like, don't give me attitude. I saved your life. That's why she's so quick to trust Darren and not me. As of that too. Yes. I think.
Yeah.
I
You're
feel like
saying
this should be color coordinated.
it would be nice. It would.
You're.
That's me.
Oh.
You're saying you can't trust me, but I don't see why either of us should trust you, I tell her. What if you're not in fact looking for a friend and are just here to win the tournament like every other participant? What proof do you have to back up your claim?
Or the banshee thing. I mean, we could circle back to that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not. I just.
She hesitates. Whoa, let's all calm down, says Darren. He turns to the woman. Listen, I understand your concern, but this man saved my life, and I intend to repay my debt to him. If you're looking for an escort, then it's going to be the three of us traveling together. I'm not accepting any alternatives. The woman pauses to consider Darren's words.
Very well.
she says.
If that's the way it has to be, then I am forced to comply. But know that I'll be constantly watching my back. I'm not as easily convinced as you, healer and moron.
Healer in moron.
Healer in armor. Should be moron in armor.
Moron in armor. Great, Darren says. Now that we've got that settled, let's be off. Adventure awaits. Wait, I call out. You still didn't tell us your name.
Call out where? We didn't move.
The woman turns toward me and gives me a pondering look. After careful consideration, she decides to answer.
It's Zanya. My name is Zanya.
Okay, fair enough. With those last words, the three of us leave the clearing and head into the forest in the hopes of finding some place away from the ongoing battles that are being waged across the land.
Literally calling out. We're just standing next to each other. I'd be like, dude, chill.
As we march through the forest, I hear a few loud beeps coming.
Hi, Blood. It's been a hot second. How are you?
Damn.
Yeah, I remember Blood. Mm-mm.
As we march through the forest, I hear a few loud beeps coming from my right pocket. Barry, what's that sound? Darren asks. I know that sound. Don't tell me you brought a fortune teller's trinket with you all the way here. Are you planning to tell us our fortunes, Barry? A fortune teller's trinket. That's what most people call these devices nowadays, but very few people know what they really do and how they actually work. My research has led me to believe that these devices harness their energy from the magic all around them. The more energy they harness, the more effective they become. Since mages are usually spread far apart from one another and they don't really have any reason to cast powerful spells one after the other, the effects of such a device are mostly negligible. What's up?
Fight!
Fight?
Fight! Fight!
Oh, snap!
Fight! Fight!
Shall I keep reading or should we watch the fight?
It's almost over.
Okay.
I think the names are over the bars. Actually,
it's a little
Quent
hard to
type
see.
too.
Oh, snap.
Come on, me!
Oh, the queen prevails.
Suki!
I don't know why your mouth was like bobbing when you went, yeah! It was like, bah, 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 bah.
Oh, victory is mine. Got it, Daily.
Okay, so he's got this device that absorbs
Got
magic around them, I
Got
guess.
the cell phone.
Yeah, basically. But imagine the amount of energy it could gather in a place filled with the most powerful mages in the world, who are constantly fighting each other. I pulled the device out of my pocket. It looks much like a toy, with a few buttons and a screen. As I press the buttons, different letters magically appear on the screen, forming words and showing me numbers. The device calls these my stats. My stats consist of various physical attributes such as strength, speed, reflexes, toughness, observation, and hearing. But there's also others like combat technique, ancient languages, and premonition. When the device harnesses enough energy, it announces me by beeping, and it allows me to invest a limited number of points in my stats. At the moment, all of my stats are at 0, which means the device's energy was completely depleted when I bought it. I guess I'll have to start leveling them from scratch. Investing my points in stats is supposed to actually enhance my real attributes, as long as I keep the device close enough to me that it comes into contact with my magical aura. As I spend my time here, I'm expecting to hear these beeps more and more often. I'll have to think twice about the way I spend my points, though, since I have no way of knowing when I'll get my next batch of points, and no way to change my mind after I've invested them.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. So humans can have magic.
Well, I think specifically it's this device can harness magical energies and use them to enhance his own abilities.
Okay, so what does he need the other thing for?
I don't think he can cast spells necessarily.
Yeah, I guess that's
I'm not
fair.
sure.
It just seems like there'd be more humans using this thing than if it was like, not even just to become a mage, just to like live life. Oh, I'm a farmer. I'm gonna raise my stats so that I can work longer and harder on the fields.
Listen, it's a tutorial disguised as a plot device.
Listen, you know plot devices are the one thing I over-examine. I do not accept.
The maximum values that appear now for each stat are likely to increase as time passes. This device is mostly used by fortune tellers because of its premonition stat. It provides them with some very vague glimpses into the future that they are then free to interpret to their own liking. I wonder if the ancient languages stat actually means that I'll start being able to understand and speak ancient tongues. I heard there are many such writings on this continent, and I heard some people here don't speak the common tongue.
Wow, and they're just like, yeah, go off, king. Like, I'm like, okay, I got it, whatever. So we're doing combat.
33? Doesn't that mean you can just max everything out?
Well, Diley says level up 1 combat proficiency in 2 ancient languages.
You still have 27 points left you can allocate.
Yeah, am I...
You can literally fill up everything.
Really?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah. And have some left over.
Oh.
Unless it's like, because these are gonna increase, the maxes are gonna increase as time goes on. So maybe you can bank the points and use them later.
Well, look at... Wait, what's this?
I don't know, I didn't see what it said.
Something about my drives.
Click the notification thing there. Oh dear.
It said... Oh, it made it seem like one of my drives got disconnected or something. But I guess it's fine.
Okay. Okay, maybe we should just follow what Diley says.
I mean... They said you can't go back.
Well,
No.
I thought it was once you confirm.
Oh.
So you could cancel changes. Yeah.
It just seems like the... Wait. Oh, wait. He said more.
Oh yeah, he says. What does that mean, Diley? Does that mean we max everything out, or does it mean only do what you said?
Or that the 3 will get higher later.
Well, they said that the 3 would get higher later.
Who, Diley?
No, the game. The narration. The tutorial.
Then why did
disguised
you
as a plot
say...
device.
Oh, then why did you say it as if you were pondering whether the 3s would get higher?
No, I was wondering if it was a matter of, like, you can choose to just bank your points for now so that when the maxes increase, you can invest them differently. Instead of dumping 3 into everything right now.
Oh, after the creator of the game died. Oh, they died?
Yeah, apparently
Chicken jockey, hello.
I read that when I was trying to figure out how to play the game.
Oh.
They died last year.
Oh, how?
Cancer.
Oh. Did he, or they, or she, I don't know who they are. Did they leave, like, a legacy person? Because I have a few suggestions.
I don't think so. This version, I don't think existed before he died. This is, like, specifically an offline version using JavaScript so that you can just play on a desktop.
Wait, how did I... Sorry, how did I get...
Oh. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Maybe the drive did disconnect.
Yeah, it said something about the SATA drive or the MATA drive.
Yeah.
What's this?
Just allow access.
Okay. Oh.
Go to main menu.
Oh, dear.
Load from last checkpoint. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but apparently Diley said they just did this so you can do whatever you want to do.
Okay, so I guess we're just maxing out.
Wait, how old was the person?
I don't know. I think they were relatively young. Because, number one, that kind of makes sense given this.
Well,
But
no,
number
there's like
two-
7-year-olds that play this game.
But number two, I was gonna say, their mom was replying to Reddit threads, and she didn't look that old.
So it must have been a... Well, it's, saying cancer is like saying, like, Africa.
I don't know. They didn't say.
Yeah, it's, like, weird. I'm just like, when
Why is
people
it
were like...
weird?
Because saying cancer is like saying Africa. If I ask you, like, where you're from, you don't say Africa, you say what country.
I mean, but people don't always disclose exactly what
I know, and
killed
I'm wondering, like, why is cancer one of those things where we, like, are just, like, continent?
Listen, I didn't research it.
I'm not attacking
Maybe it
you.
says it
I'm just
somewhere.
saying this is a pattern
no, I'm
that
just
I've
saying
noticed.
I hear specific cancers when people talk about, you know, somebody dying from cancer. They usually say a specific one. I think it's more like people, you know, reacting to news of the death of somebody where it isn't disclosed and being like, how did they die? Like, I think that's the more common thing where that's kind of seen as uncouth and, like, don't ask if they didn't reveal it themselves, you know?
But then there's, like, those conversations where people are like, oh, well, you didn't ask. And it's like, it's usually not, well, I guess in death maybe, but, like, usually socially, it's like people would rather you ask versus offer off the bat, where I prefer people offer and I don't ask. Like, when you're like, oh, you never ask, like, how I'm doing. And it's like, yeah, because I just expect you to tell me. But, like, when people are like, oh, how's Lux doing? Or, Lux was sick, right? How's the sickness? And you're like, oh, thanks for asking. And I'm like, well, I don't ask because I just assume you'll tell me. Not to attack, I'm just saying in an example, people would rather you ask. And I
think it depends on the subject. I think usually when it comes to people dying, people don't want you to ask if they don't disclose it.
I usually don't care, but it was just like deciding, like, oh, is this like a super old person or like a super young person?
Well, Diley told us that it's very tragic.
Oh. So you just lied to me.
No, that's what I read.
Wait, so they just lied to everybody?
No, the mom didn't say it. It was somebody else talking about how they had cancer. Like, people were like,
well,
wait.
I said, how did they die? And you said cancer.
Yeah, because that's what it seemed like people were saying. Like, there was a thread that was like, oh, is he really dead? They say, yeah, he had cancer.
Okay.
That implies that he died of cancer.
But you know he didn't die of cancer, or you just found out with me?
I just found out with you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying you knew it wasn't cancer.
No.
But you were upholding the lie and the confusion.
No, I did not know.
Oh. Well, that doesn't tell me what kind of cancer it was at all.
I mean, I don't.
Also, are you saying Sudoku now?
That's been a thing for a long time.
Like seppuku?
Yes. For some reason, people...
I like kick the
I think
chair.
it was originally a meme to call it Sudoku.
But I really
It
like
wasn't
Sudoku.
the same thing as saying unalive. It was like actually like a joke.
Oh. I like kick the chair.
That is a way to say it.
Also, pressure from what? Like, I'm just, like, curious now.
You can look into it later, I guess.
All in all, I just have some notes about some of this dialogue.
Yeah, I don't think that they had a successor, but somebody else did make this version of the game that was originally not in this format. So there are probably still people doing something with it. I guess his mom has access to his previous, like, latest versions that he had on his computer.
I mean, I get having a legacy copy, though.
Mm-hmm.
But I just feel like the whole Banshee thing. And, like, I'm gonna need some more, like, world building. Like, do other humans use this, like, telephone that he's trying to... Like, and also, like, the age matters. Like, how old was he when he made this?
Now,
it's better than, like, most fan fiction. For sure.
I think that, like, there are parts of the writing that are good, and then there are other things that don't seem thought out, like the plot holes and the unnatural transitions and stuff like that. But again,
making a game
the
is
unnatural
hard.
transitions are unnatural transitions, but maybe plot holes will be explained as we go along.
Yeah, that's true. I just, like, rather before then, especially if it's, like, later, as in, like, 2 slides down.
I'm calling it now. Diley says it's going to come up later in its crazy lore, but I'm going to call it now. Barry is being isekai'd into this world. He's not from this world, and he has basically a smartphone or whatever, but he keeps talking about what he's researched. And it's like, why would you need to research if you live in this world? Like, I mean, you know what I mean. These are things that people are common. Okay, Diley says nah, but you know what? Sticking to it.
I feel like it'd be funny if you got, like, isekai'd, but then all your stuff had to have been translated into what would make sense in the world. Like, you wouldn't be isekai'd with your Apple Watch. It becomes something else that would align with what's already in the world. And then you would be like, the food? And then someone would be like, oh my god, how did you get that? That's a super rare. You're just like, my parents gave it to me. That'd be kind of funny. I got isekai to do a D&D world, and then you just trying to fit in and shit. And, like, not being raised there, you, like, blumble like that all the time.
I think that would also be the title of the anime, is I got isekai'd into a D&D world. Yes, they use the word isekai in the title.
Yes, exactly. And it'd be like, oh, so is there AIDS here? Because it'd be cool if there was. let me just understand how this works. Do you have protection, or can we just go for it? Okay, sorry, Chad. That was a very long thing. But, you know, you're here for our banter, so.
Barry, what's that sound? Darren asks. I know that sound. Don't tell me you brought a fortune teller's trinket with you all the way here. Are you planning to tell us our fortunes, Barry? Wait.
Okay, but the fact that they're also reducing it to that when clearly it, like, also buffs you as a person seems kind of ridiculous.
Okay, but this is just a repeat of the last thing we read, so just press continue.
Oh, okay. Wait, really? Did no one proofread this?
I mean, I think that they just didn't do the transition from stats into the next message. I think they just brought you back to the...
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Barry, like, I know you had cancer and were depressed, man, but come on.
Barry, don't you think there are more important things to do right now than playing around with that toy? Darren asks me. This isn't a toy, I answer him as I put the device back in my pocket. And I think you should pay more attention to where you're going instead of lecturing me, because I see we just ran out of forest.
Quiet, the two of you.
What?
The two of you.
Well, you gonna finish your sentence?
Well, yeah, I just was like...
You haven't heard anybody say the two of you?
Not like that. We're like, shut up, you guys. Or
yeah,
like, shut up, you two.
Yeah,
not the two of you.
Yeah.
We've got company, I said.
She's right. Looking all around us, I see there are fallen trees everywhere in this area, and there are quite a few dead bodies lying around. It seems there's been a battle here, or maybe several. The victors were in the middle of looting the bodies when they noticed us. There's 3 of them in total. One of them is considerably well built for a mage. He has very long black beard covering his face. He seems to be in his mid-40s. He's wearing heavy armor and is holding a large battle axe. The other 2 are a bit skinnier and younger and are wearing chainmail vests instead, but they're holding no weapons. The bearded mage with the battle axe shouts to Darren, "Quite the team you've assembled there, healer in armor. A healer, a banshee, and an ordinary human. It's like you're dying to lose this tournament." Kate was visibly affected by the banshee comment. Her eyes twitched and her look went subconsciously towards the ground. "Mind your tongue, fool," I reply to him. "Who are you calling an ordinary human? Have you not heard of Stillwaters?"
So now he's just leaning into the lie.
I guess so.
And just actively offering it. Okay.
"Ha! Stillwaters are legends and nothing more. I don't know what you were trying to achieve by joining this tournament, boy, but soon it won't matter anymore." "Why?" Darren asks the bearded mage. "Why have you done this?"
Oh, okay. I was like, why wouldn't it matter anymore? Don't engage with them.
He gestures towards the lifeless bodies lying all around us. "Nobody told us we should start killing each other," Darren continues. They told us there are no rules, and until they give us our first objectives, we don't even know if there's going to be a combat involved. Why did you have to kill all of those people? Because there are no rules, answers the mage with the battle axe. No rules means we can do whatever we want, and what we want is to eliminate as much of the competition as possible before the main event starts. He grins.
This sounds like horrible, what is it called? Event planning.
True. They're just like, hold off on that first objective. We're gonna figure things out over here. In the meantime, go roam about.
They'd be like,
Have
no
fun.
rules. They'd be like, nah, you need to come up with some rules, bitch, and then spread that shit out. What are you talking about?
I am making an executive decision to change this guy's voice because the way I'm doing it is hurting me.
Oh, poor baby.
So let's do like... My sons and I were a little worried at first. We were afraid we might not be ready for the big leagues, but here we are, the bearded mage exclaims as he raises his hands and takes a victorious stance. But enough talk. We all know what's coming.
Okay,
Barry, get behind me, Darren shouts as he rushes in front of me.
Okay, but like, if the tournament also hasn't started, the most powerful mages are probably not just wandering around looking for fights. Like, that's like childish.
Agreed. First rule of combat, says the bearded mage. Suddenly, one of the two younger mages that were standing next to the mage with the battle axe vanishes and appears right behind me, with a dagger in his hand. Always kill the weakest enemies first. Oh, that's the bearded mage. Always kill the weakest enemies first, the bearded mage continues.
Oh my. What is that called? Initiative attack? What is it called in D&D? I forgot.
Yeah, that's initiative, right?
Like, not, maybe surprise attack.
Sneak attack.
Sneak attack.
Well, that's the
That's
rogue
it,
specific.
Yeah, rogue, yeah. You're
Okay.
such a rogue.
I am. The young mage slashes his dagger towards my neck, but Darren reacts just in time and uses his shield to take the blow. Is this the bearded guy? Yes. Ha! You left the woman undefended. Classic mistake, says the mage with the battle axe, as his second son makes a dozen swords appear out of thin air, floating in front of him, and sends them all flying towards Kate. Just as the swords reach her, Kate's left arm gets covered in a large, thick block of ice, sculpted in the form of a shield. She puts it in front of her, and all of the swords get stuck into it.
What?
Yeah, line number 4.
Oh! Left the woman left the woman undefended.
Kate asks.
So which is it then, woman or banshee? Why would you voluntarily bring it back up?
I think she's offended, okay?
Well, like, just say what you are and then move on. Like, she's not explaining.
I don't think now is the time to explain when you're in mid-combat.
No, I'd be like, I ain't a banshee, I'm a... And then whip his ass. You know?
Yeah, okay, fair. She lowers her left arm to reveal her face as she looks straight at the mage with the black beard. Her eyes are brimming with fury.
I mean, you could say make up your mind, but I feel like, why can't you be both? Make up your mind!
She shouts, as the whole forest falls silent from the sound of her voice. The mage with the battle axe seems to have temporarily lost his cool and is looking a bit terrified, and he should be. Kate's killing intent is so strong that it almost seems palpable.
I see backstabbers and sword throwers.
She shouts.
And you call yourself mages? Come, I'll show you real magic.
As she talks, the air all around her seems to be getting colder. So this is what it feels like to be in a tournament alongside the most powerful mages in the world. The bearded mage seems to have snapped out of it. Your parlor tricks won't save you a second time, wench. I don't care if you're a banshee or not. None of you are going to leave this place alive, he shouts as he rushes towards Darren with his battle axe ready to strike. As he approaches, I realize that if I don't do something quick, Darren will be forced to fight both the older and the younger mage by himself while also defending me, and he won't have the luxury of using healing spells since they require him to be calm and relaxed in order to cast them. Maybe there's something I can do to help?
Alright, we're gonna fight the younger mage myself.
There's no way Darren can fight the two of them while defending me. Since the younger mage seems to be focused on me, I'll lure him away from Darren and try to fight him on my own until Darren finishes off the older mage. Kate seems to have gotten the sword-throwing mage's undivided attention. He's constantly sending swords her way from every direction, as she creates walls of ice to block his attacks. We're lucky. With Darren's weakness against weapons and my lack of magical talents, that mage would probably have been the hardest for us to fight. As the bearded mage reaches us, his battle axe clashes loudly with Darren's sword. "I see you've enchanted your weapon well, healer," says the older mage. "But how long can you last against a battle-hardened warrior such as myself?" He roars and presses his battle axe harder against Darren's sword. As the two of them fight, I dash away towards the forest. As expected, the mage with the dagger is coming right after me. "Barry, wait!" Darren shouts after me. He attempts to follow, but decides against it. He can't afford to avert his eyes from the bearded mage for even a second. He's too dangerous. In the meantime, the mage fighting Kate has managed to surround her with floating swords, aimed at her from every direction. He sends them all at her simultaneously in an attempt to overwhelm her defenses. She quickly surrounds herself with a sphere of very thick ice, and all of the swords once again stop into it. As she dismisses the sphere, all the hundreds of swords drop to the ground with a deafening clang. Ooh, combat technique check successful. Once I'm far enough away from Darren and his opponent, I turn back towards the mage with the dagger and assume my fighting stance. I realize I'm feeling quite confident in my fighting skills all of a sudden. Is it because of that stat device? The mage tries to surprise me again by teleporting behind me, but I manage to stop his arm as he flings it towards me. Keeping a firm hold of his arm, I pull back his wrist, forcing him to let go of the dagger. As I take his weapon, he quickly pulls out another dagger from his sleeve and makes a lunge towards me. Our two daggers clash, and we start to fight. "Boy, what do you think you're doing? Stop fooling around and..." Oh, wait. Mage with the battle axe. "Boy, what do you think you're doing? Stop fooling around and finish him! He's just an ordinary human!" shouts the mage with the battle axe. Kate seems to have gone on the offensive. She's throwing ice cones towards the other younger mage, and he is now forced to use his sword to cut them down instead of attacking her. As he focuses more on defense, Kate's attacks become more and more relentless. It doesn't take her long until she starts sending hundreds of ice daggers towards her enemy. The mage doesn't seem to know how to use his technique to defend from such a large number of simultaneous attacks. It only takes a small miscalculation on his part to end the battle abruptly, as one of the ice daggers stabs him right through the heart, killing him on the spot.
Oh, so we just murder hoboing then.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
"No!" shouts the older mage when he sees what happened to his eldest son. Taking his eyes off his opponent was a fatal mistake. Darren didn't waste his chance and drove his blade right through the man's chest.
Alright.
His enchanted weapon cutting through the mage's heavy armor like a knife through butter. The bearded mage gave out one last gurgle before he drowned in his own blood. Terrified, the young mage with the dagger tries to teleport into the forest to get away, but his spell's range appears to be limited and only transports him halfway there. He tries to make a run for it, but Kate snipes him from a distance with an ice cone through his head,
Okay,
which
but
kills
why?
him instantly.
But why? He was ready. His family just got murdered. Just let him go. He's probably just gonna go home and defeat and tell the mom we fucked up. Okay. Just like, fuck that
It was a gruesome show, but at this point, all I care about is that I somehow managed to make it out of that alive. As he's healing his wounds, Darren looks straight at me. "Damn it, Barry, that was too close! We're going to have to think up some strategy until our next fight, or we're not going to last much longer." "Yes," I tell him, "I think you may be right." After finishing his healing spell, he walks over to Kate. Kate, please explain something to me, because I just don't get it. With the way you were fighting back there, why would you ever ask for an escort?"
I was thinking that, but then I was also like, bait's good to have too. Everyone has their weaknesses, healer. I mean, he just spent a whole page talking about his weakness. Come on. Judging by how much you've been struggling this fight, I would assume that, ironically, you are the weakest against other weapon enhancers such as yourself. But just because I handle these thugs with ease doesn't mean I won't have any problems against other foes. No one can survive this tournament alone.
Yes, I suppose you're right. Darren pauses.
Seems like he also would have just known that inherently. But
right,
okay.
Right.
It's fine.
Very well, let's keep going, he says as he heads towards the trees.
We're not gonna loot the bodies?
Right?
What?
Potentially some good stuff there.
Right?
I start to follow him, but Kate stops me in my tracks. She has that very serious look in her eyes again.
Still, Walter.
She says in a low voice, in order to avoid being heard by Darren.
I saw you, quote, fighting, unquote, back there. You may have managed to convince Darren and that bearded fool that you're an ordinary human, but I am not so easily deceived. I don't know what your game is, but I'm gonna keep my eye on you.
I'm not, I start to say, but Kate cuts me off and grabs me by the shirt.
Listen to me, Stillwater. I'm not interested in hearing your lies. I just wanted to make sure you were clear on what I think about your little... bit my tongue.
Oh, no.
Little charade. Now, are you clear? What? Are we clear? Are you clear? No, I'm...
I, in fact, do have opacity.
Yes, no, I am at 0% opacity.
You mean 100% opacity.
Well, isn't transparency would be 0. Gotcha. I took a risk there. Not really. Could you elaborate more? Actually.
Not really. Could you elaborate some more? I ask her. Kate frowns at me.
Joke all you want, Stillwater, but I've got my eye on you.
She releases my shirt and goes to catch up with Darren, not saying another word. Ancient languages check. As we approach the first forest, I see a female deer and her fawn appear from behind the trees. When the fawn opens its mouth, I realize it speaks in one of the ancient languages my stat device has taught me.
Mommy!
Yeah, there you go.
There are more outlanders this way. Don't worry, child.
The fawn's mother tells him.
We'll find a safe way back to our cave, I promise.
They head back towards the woods. Wait, I call after them in their own language. The two deer stop and look towards me.
You can understand us?
Asks the doe.
If you provide protection in exchange for leading us to the cave, wish them safe travels. Tell them they look delicious.
Okay. Yes, I can, I tell her. I overheard you talking about a cave. We're looking for shelter as well. Could you offer your protection? We could offer you protection. I was like, what are they going to do? We could offer you protection on your way back if you promise to let us share the cave for one night. The female deer is measuring me up with her eyes. She isn't sure what to make of my offer. When we mean you no harm, I promise, I tell her.
No,
the female deer says.
You don't. Otherwise, I wouldn't still be alive, having this conversation with you. I thank you, Outlander. We accept your generous offer. My name is Eladia, and this is my child, Molan. I believe this is how humans make their acquaintance.
I just remembered that you called Kate Zanya. Should we refer to her as Zanya?
Yeah,
still?
I was like, slacking.
Sorry.
But I didn't care enough.
Okay.
There's only one female, so...
She approaches me. And deer.
Well, now. Yeah.
She extends one of her front hooves towards me. I realize she wants me to shake her hand. I grab her hoof and I shake it lightly before letting it go. I'm Barry, I tell her. Pleased to meet you. Darren and Zanya are looking at me, dumbfounded. It occurs to me that the two of them probably didn't understand a word of what I've been saying. This must all sound like weird animal noises to them. Barry, what the hell? Asks Darren.
Okay, so he really doesn't know about the device because he literally, like that plot device, that plot hole is like baffling to me. He's like, it's a fortune toy, and it's like, it allows him to talk to animals. It seems like every magical person would understand the power of that, quote, trinket toy. Sorry, go ahead. It's just gonna bother me the whole time.
I'll explain later, I tell him. Just say it's the device.
Yeah, just say it's the... What do you mean? I'd be like, Barry, I already explained this. God damn. Keep up.
They said they can lead us to their cave in exchange for our protection. Our protection? Anyway.
Yeah, they meant...
their protection.
Yeah, in exchange for their, yeah.
We're still looking for shelter, aren't we? Well, I guess, but... Then come on, she says it's this way, I say as I follow the deer into the woods. Darren is clearly very reluctant about all of this, but he follows me regardless. Zanya looks more puzzled than skeptical, as she decides to follow me as well into the depths of the forest and towards the mountains.
I don't want more females.
You don't want more? Alright, because you don't want to read.
I can't do voices either. I'm really bad at it.
I mean, you can use all the same voice, it's fine.
Okay.
So, Barry, let me get this straight, Darren says. You're saying that the trinket you're carrying with you is in fact a device that amplifies your physical attributes, which is powered by the magic all around us? Right, I answer. And this device taught you an ancient language that made you able to communicate with the two deer? Correct. Darren, Zanya, and I are sitting in a circle on the rocky floor of our dear host's cave. Our trip here has been rather uneventful, save for a few more dead bodies we've seen along the way. Darren has gotten out of his heavy armor since we arrived and is now wearing more comfortable clothes. Who is this? It must be Darren. Barry, there's no such thing as talking to animals. I've heard you talk to them, and it's nothing but weird animal noises.
Okay, that's literally what language is, though.
Right. Just because you got lucky and they actually brought us to their lair doesn't prove you're right. Zanya, could you knock some sense into our dear companion here?
So what is this, like, intelligence, like, negative 20?
I mean, I hope not. He's a mage.
Just... That's what language is, though. Thank you for the alert, Kangry Panda. Welcome back across the pond. She just came back from Heathrow.
Oh, fun.
She was in Europe.
Europe.
No.
Zanya answers curtly. Because you won't be bothered to...
Because he's right. The device he's carrying is indeed a stat booster. And one of those stats gives the owner knowledge of ancient languages.
What? Weren't you the one saying I shouldn't trust him a few hours ago? Why are you defending him now?
It's just a factual statement, though. I'm not defending anyone. I've known the true function of these devices for a long time because I'm not an idiot. I don't need to trust him in order to know he's telling the truth.
Fine, I give up. You win, Barry. So what are these stats of yours anyway?
He literally listed them, though, because we read them together.
I show him my device's screen where all of the 9 stats are shown. Darren gives the device a long, pondering look until he decides to speak. All right, here's my 2 copper pieces. I think that if we're to keep traveling in our current formation, and if that device of yours really does what it says, what you say it does,
you can't have it.
Then what would help us all the most would be if you maxed that observation stat. Observation? Why observation of all things? I asked him. Because
you clearly can't see the point I'm trying to make right now, idiot. Get it? See?
But he's talking to Barry, and Barry's perfectly fine.
Damn it.
Because if you're good at observing details, you're far more likely to detect illusions. Usually the best way to know you're in an illusion is to notice something minor that changed in the environment around you. No illusion is perfect. Sometimes there's a few leaves that disappear from the ground. Some other times the sun is higher in the sky than it was before you entered the illusion. I'm really bad at noticing these kinds of things. Usually I only see it when it's too late. That hasn't killed me yet, but then again, I've never had to fight against the strongest mages in the world before. Even if you max all of your physical attributes, I doubt you'll ever be on par with me and Zanya, let alone all the other mages that joined this tournament. But with good observation skills, you might well end up saving our lives when we enter the first illusion. What?
I thought... Okay, we're Barry.
Yes, we are Barry.
I was thinking there was 3 people.
There are 3 people.
No, like 3 guys and 1 chick.
No.
And I was like, wait, where did this guy come from?
I have only been using 2
Wait, so who is he talking to?
Barry is talking to Darren. Well, that last line was Darren.
Wait, who had the copper pieces?
That's Darren talking about saying Barry should invest in observation.
Oh.
Because he's bad at noticing things. And
Wait,
that having
but...
somebody that's good at observation would be good, because he doesn't think that even if Barry maxed his stats, that he could keep pace with the two of them in combat. She is utterly baffled in the chat. I'm not sure what's happening.
Okay. I'm just wondering why Barry would be like, why observation? But I'm trying to, like, think if I were, like, a human. But, like, your observation is bad. But I could already, like, fathom why that might be important. But, like, if he had said something like, oh, but, like, I can already notice things, like, what would be the difference? And then he said, oh, well, the things called illusions that are hard to notice. Like, I feel like the phrasing is like, why would observation be good in a tournament against powerful mages? It's like, what do you think, stupid? I just think, that's why I was confused. I was like, is this a different person? Because, like, why would you ask that?
No, I think they're both a little bit stupid.
But I maxed out 3 for 3.
Okay. Darren pauses.
At least you know I'm very I'm like interested in this, because I'm like, what? No.
Well, anyway, that's just my opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt. That little trinket is yours to use, so feel free to do whatever you want with it.
Didn't need your permission, but okay.
Here comes the deer.
I hope I'm not.
Not the adult deer. The sultry deer. The sultry deer.
Hello, Ray. Yeah, they're both loopy, exactly. I'm just like, what is this question coming from? See, I try to max literally everything when I play D&D. It's quite bad, but I just want to be good at everything. What do you mean I can't be good at everything? It's a game. The whole point of playing a game is to defy reality and be good at everything. I hope... Oh, hi, Ray. Happy Sunday. I hope I'm not interrupting anything important.
Says Ilaria as she approaches.
I thought you might be hungry after such a long journey, so now deers are feeding us.
She pushes a big plate of cooked meat.
What?
Hold on. How are these deers cooking meat?
Yeah,
happening?
What are they trapping? How are they preparing? They have no thumbs.
Right? Are they just like are they like tossing it into the fire with their mouths and then trying to retrieve it somehow without burning themselves?
Is there like something about these deers that we don't know that should have been perhaps introduced?
Maybe. She pushes a big plate of cooked meat towards us with her front hoof. Judging by the looks and smell, it appears to be deer meat.
Did she just cook her child?
Oh my goodness.
Bambi!
Could you imagine?
Bambi. Ask her if they're cannibals. Call out to see him, Pullman.
Hey, you called it.
Hey, where'd you get that plate from? Honestly, I feel like I wouldn't just call someone out on their cannibalism. The Barry's kind of dumb.
But I'm getting the vibe that maybe they're not actually deer.
Yeah, also, how would he know if it's deer meat? Did he roll for inspection? Let's be.
How did you get that plate? I ask her. Surely you didn't carry it all the way from the nearest city.
No, of course not. I conjured it the same way I conjured the food you see before you.
You can cast magic?
Oh.
As the two of us talk, I can hear Darren whisper to Zanya, I swear I'm never going to get used to hearing him talk like that. Ilaria pays him no mind and answers my question.
Yes, many animals on this continent can. It is a gift offered to us by our protector, the great golden fox. Milan's father used to be a lot better at it than I am, but I try my best. I feel like the polite thing is to ask about the father, but I want to know about this fox.
Who's this golden fox you speak of? Your leader?
You could say that. She is a very old spirit that has guided all animals on the continent for thousands of years. She is our protector, our shepherd, and our teacher.
Not the shifting accent.
I can't hold it.
Okay, do whatever you need to do.
And we all aspire to be like her.
Oblivious to the meaning of our conversation, Darren decides to stop waiting for me and starting to eat. He offers Zanya a morsel of deer meat. Barry's busy talking to his animal friends. He'll join us when he's done. Eat up or your food will get cold.
Shh, I'm trying to listen.
Zanya replies. You're kidding. You mean to tell me you actually understand what they're saying?
Chotto hanasemasu. Only a little, which is why I need some silence in order to concentrate, so be quiet.
Zanya's words seem to have caught Ilaria's attention.
There is no need to be embarrassed about your poor grasp of our language, woman outlander.
The deer tells her in the ancient language.
I believe your name is Zanya, is it not? Feel free to join our conversation if you want. I will try to use our words that are more commonly known in order to ease your understanding.
Zanya was caught off guard by Ilaria's proposal.
That was the most condescending thing I've ever heard.
Don't worry, I'll keep it simple for you, hon. She's struggling to form a coherent sentence in the deer's language.
I did not know that you spoke common. I can understand it, but I am not allowed to speak it. You just did, bitch, though, right? The great fox has forbidden us to speak the human's language ever since the hunts of Olmar began a few decades ago. Humans and animals on this continent have been living in harmony for hundreds of years. But it all changed when the people of Olmar started hunting animals as a sport some 40 years ago. That is when the great fox decided to sever all ties between the animal kingdom and the humans and forbade us to speak the common language ever again. So, だから not allowed hanasu us? Technically, I shouldn't be talking to humans in general, but the one rule set in stone is that I'm not allowed to speak in the common language. I respect that great fox and her decisions, but that does not mean I agree with all of them. I fear that the rift has grown between our two races will only further amplify the conflict between us. Most humans have forgotten the art of food conjugation, and without us to help them, conjuration, they have started turning to more primitive methods of acquiring food. What used to be only a sports practice by Almar has now become a means of survival for many humans. This war has already cost us so many lives, including Molan's father, there you go. And I'm getting more and more tired of it with each passing day.
She pauses.
Oh. Okay, I see. But I digress, my friends, mutant dear. I thank you once more for your help. Our home is your home until you decide to take your leave. Please eat to your heart's content and do not hesitate to ask for more. I will be over there if you need me.
With these last words, Ilaria bows her head and goes to sit near her offspring, who is sleeping in a dark corner of the cave. Darren, who has been eating all this time, is now looking at us and shaking his head. Okay, he says. I only have one more question for you. Did you ask her if she's got more of these? He points at the plate of food in front of him. She said we can ask for a refill whenever we want, I answer him. Perfect, then there's no need to hold back. After the three of us are done feasting, Darren decides to pick up our initial conversation where we left off. All right, he says. Barry, I'm going to need you to decide now and tell us how you're planning to use that stat booster of yours in the immediate future, so that we can prepare our tactics accordingly. We can't afford to go into our next fight without a plan.
I feel in my heart of hearts she was like, oh, but humans have lost the ability to conjure food, and it's such a shame because now they're hunting for survival. Then proceeded not to teach us how to do it.
I mean, again, why can't Barry just learn magic, right? Maybe it's the same thing.
What?
I said, why can't Barry just learn magic? I feel like it might be the same thing.
But she's saying that humans used to be able to do it and they lost it. So, like, if she had said, like, if only we could teach them again or something like that. But she
It's probably not just a say the magic words and you have food kind of thing.
I don't know. I mean, we could have long rested and she could have just walked us through it. We could have practiced together.
I completely forgot about short and long rests. That's how long it's been since I played D&D.
Yeah, let's see. Daddy says it doesn't matter, so we can just do what we want. Focus on avoiding attacks and baiting opponents. Focus on fighting the enemies head on. Focus on observing the battlefield and providing tactical information. I feel like Barry, as a human with no magic, it would make more sense for him to be either A or C.
That's basically what Darren said. But Darren more specifically said the observation side.
So let's do C then.
After taking some time to consider my options, I gave Darren my answer. I want to focus on helping the two of you by observing the battlefield and providing tactical information. A wise decision. So I'm guessing your main two attributes will be hearing and observation then. But that's not enough. If the enemy sees you just standing there, they'll focus you first, like they did this time. You'll need to have at least one defensive stat prepared, like toughness, reflexes, or premonition to be safe. Zanya and I won't be able to defend you all the time. Darren shifts his gaze towards Zanya.
No.
Now, for the two of us, as you said after our last battle, I would rather not fight against weapon enchanters unless I have no choice. That's why I'm going to ask you to take care of them when the time comes. Zanya nods at Darren as he continues to talk. As for myself, I am particularly good against elementalists, summoners, and shapeshifters, so I'll focus on them if we meet any. He's speaking about mage specializations. Most mages will pick up certain type of magic and dedicate their life to perfecting it, like gnome users, instead of trying to learn as many spells as possible. Weapon enchanters use their magic to make their gear as strong as possible, since they mostly rely on their weapons for combat. They will also likely train themselves in at least one martial art. Elementalists are mages born with incredible talent at manipulating one of the four elements, water, air, fire, or earth. However, they are born with the affinity for only one element, and they usually have problems mastering other spells, since they rely solely on their talent for casting their elemental spells, and generally, have little knowledge of the arcane arts. Summoners are mages who concentrate on summoning other creatures to fight for them. Since that leaves them vulnerable to surprise attacks, they usually also focus on defensive spells to keep them safe while their summoned creature fights for them. Shapeshifters, on the other hand, go for a more personal approach, transforming themselves into other creatures instead of summoning them. This solves the vulnerability problem that summoners have, but it also limits their powers, as they're unable to cast other spells while transformed. What about you, Zanya? Darren asks. Do you have any weaknesses against any particular kinds of magic?
Dumb men. Yes.
She answers.
But you don't plan on sharing them with us. Oh, oop.
Oh, but you don't plan on sharing them with us?
I do not.
Darren shrugs. Suit yourself. Well, I think that's all we needed to discuss for now. Time for bed. Barry and I will take first watch. Come on, Barry. I follow Darren out of the cave, and together we start climbing the mountain to reach a good vantage point. The moon is high in the sky and the stars are bright. We won't have any trouble spotting enemies if they approach.
Yay.
Okay, 2 checks. I noticed that the stars are not only unusually bright tonight, but they also seem to be a certain symmetry between them, almost as if they were forming symbols in the sky.
Oh.
I suddenly realized that the symbols are from an ancient language that my stat devices taught me. If I read all the signs together, then the sentence could be roughly translated as, the dragon knows where to find the source of all magic. Does that mean there's a dragon on this continent? And he knows the location of the Magium? I've heard about spells that brighten the stars in order to transmit information, but only in fairy tales. And the same goes for dragons. It must be a coincidence. I try to forget what I saw and focus on guarding the cave. As we stand guard, Darren starts telling me stories about his travels around the world and the adventures he's had. He tells me of the 50-foot giants that live in the far east of the northern continent. He tells me how he's cured the dreaded Iknar plague of the eastern continent by himself, and how he defeated the green wyvern of the north. Listening to him tell me all these stories made me realize why I defended him instinctively from Cutthroat Dave yesterday. Even though I never really thought about it before, I guess I always kind of admired him. He's like all those heroes from the fairy tales I used to read when I was a kid, and he's a living example of what I've always aspired to become. What's it? Oh, right, you can't see your game. I've been a lot of places over the years, Barry, but everywhere I go, it's always the same. The weak are oppressed by the strong. The few are killed by the many. Everywhere I go, there's people dying from starvation, plague, war, or some other monster invasion. I've seen death all my life, but I never get used to seeing it. Seeing all of those dead bodies just lying there, lifeless, yesterday.
I'm sorry. This is really funny.
Why is it melodramatic?
Just seeing all those bodies. And I'm like, no, usually when a character has seen a lot of death, they become hardened and used to it. And he's just like, I've seen so much and killed so many, but I am still not used to it.
Listen, he's got trauma, okay?
I don't know.
It made me feel an intense pain in my chest.
He's a baby.
It was as though I could feel the suffering of each of them, and the fear that went through their hearts as they took their last breath.
Okay.
What about you, Barry? What did you feel when you saw all those dead people?
Hungry.
Oh boy. It's your choice.
Oh, okay. I was like, oh, is it lady time?
It is not lady time.
I was just busy thinking of how to stay alive at the time. I feel sorry for them, but I didn't let it affect me. I was almost about to puke. How would a normal human being react to that?
Probably either 1 or 3.
Yeah. That's a puke.
I was almost about to puke. It was my first time seeing so many dead bodies in one place. That feeling will go away with time. Apparently not.
Yeah, I was like, what? Maybe he just means he doesn't puke. He just feels sad.
Mm-hmm. I fear
Like a
that
bitch.
I fear that you'll be seeing so many bodies in the following days that you'll start getting used to their appearance and smell very soon. Darren pauses for a few seconds to gaze into the distance before he continues. You know, when I heard about this tournament, my first thought was that finally, after a lifetime of good deeds, and after a lifetime of trying to make a difference, someone was sending me a sign. I've tried all my life to save the world from its misery, but no matter how hard I tried, my efforts were never enough. But with the help of the Magium, maybe, just maybe, I might have a chance.
I don't know. Sounds like a dictator if I've ever heard one. Like, he's like, I'm using the Magium to control everybody to make everyone safe. Don't worry, this will be good.
Definitely got a hero complex.
Like, it's okay if you don't have free will, because sometimes you use it for bad, but I'm gonna make sure you use it for good.
Darren looks at me and notices I'm a little worried.
Exactly. Did I already call it?
I see no reason why the Magium can't be shared, Barry. Even if I win this tournament, I promise that I will use the power of the Magium to help you achieve your dream. I hope you will do the same for me if you win. His straightforwardness and his honesty took me by surprise. Of course I will, I tell him, since we both already know which one of us will be winning this tournament. Ha! That's the spirit! And yet another pause. Darren decides to change the subject. So, how's it going with Zanya, then? Are you making any progress with her? I'm not trying to seduce her, Darren!
What? We all have been, like, walking and resting together. You would have noticed, but also, what? I'd be like, what are you talking about?
This must have been written by a teenager.
But
either that or Darren is just being written as, like, an old, ignorant guy or whatever.
It's like the obligatory question you ask like at holidays. So, dated anyone yet? Got someone special? Oh my god. You do really look like little cheapy babies from
What?
you, because you're like the little baby chicks. Every time I look at you, I just see Boo Boo.
Listen, in a few weeks it won't look so eggy, okay?
I mean, it's not a bad look. It's just
I don't know. You keep stopping your thought process
It's
to
just-
see it and laugh. It sounds bad. It sounds bad.
It's just awkwardly cute. It's like funny cute.
She thinks that I am a baby chick, chat.
His egg. I mean, his
His egg. Not his egg.
His head is so egg shaped right now, and it kind of looks perfectly like the baby chicks in a
Harvest
story.
Moon.
Well,
Story of
okay,
Seasons.
yeah, Story of Seasons. Well, you keep saying Harvest Moon, but Harvest Moon is
They're
dead.
the same.
They're dead.
Story of Seasons is the real Harvest Moon now.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, I'm not trying to seduce her, Darren. Of course you're not, Darren says in a sarcastic manner. Slowly, Darren's smile fades away from his face, and he adopts a more serious tone. Listen, he says, I know your heart is in the right place, but you know as well as I do that women simply can't be born as mages. It's not in their blood. I don't know why she appears different from a normal banshee to you, and I don't know why the banshee inside her hasn't awakened yet, but it's only a matter of time. One day, she will turn into a banshee, and I want you to be prepared when the time comes. Darren takes a small device out of his own out of his front pocket and hands it to me. It appears to be a magical transceiver. These devices are mostly used by soldiers when they need to transmit information to
Oh,
each
so,
other over
but
short
he
distances.
knows about all these magical trinkets, but even magical people don't. What a nerd.
Without having to shout to one another. I want you to carry this with you at all times. If you're ever in danger, just tap this 3 times, and I'll come over to help as fast as I can. Just promise me something, I tell him. Of course. Promise me that you won't try to purify her until you see her transform into a banshee. Darren sighs. You're asking a lot of me, Barry. You should know better than anyone how hard it will be to stop her once she turns into a banshee. But if it means that much to you, then I'll promise. He pauses.
Just literally ask her.
Come on, we should get going. It's time we wake up Zanya so she can take second watch. As we descend towards the cave, my stat device starts beeping. I pull it out of my pocket and I see that I now have 6 more points available to spend on nothing. There must have been a big fight somewhere in the vicinity.
Also, what kind of passive, no effort shit is that? Like, D&D, you have to fight for your experience. This bitch has to literally just be by some experience.
Just harvests it.
Just harvest it. Like, what kind of nonsense is that?
Colonizer vibes.
He's just colonizing the power.
Mhm.
Can I make it? Just like, oh, please
Oh
don't.
no.
Please don't. Please don't.
Oh no.
I wasn't worth it. When was the last time it saved?
I wonder why it keeps crashing.
Right? It must be something about, like, the number of assets on the page, but, like, in the correct way, you would think. Okay, you can click through that.
Okay, sure. Sure.
We can actively save though, right?
I think so.
Oh,
We
yeah,
should probably
maybe
just do
you
that.
do, yeah. How many chapters is this? I actually don't know how
I
long
don't
this
know
is
either.
supposed to be.
It seems like it could be long.
Yeah, I can see it being long, but I could also see it being like tomorrow they wake up, the tournament happens, they do like a few chapters of fighting and avoiding, and then it's done.
Mm-hmm.
But I could also see this being like full novel.
I'm
like,
just gonna say just points later.
yeah.
Unless we lost those points. No, we didn't.
Okay. 3 books with 10 chapters each. Oh, okay.
We're only in chapter 3 of the first book.
Hmm.
That was a reaction.
Well, the goal tonight was to stream this because Daily won a bet. But it's completely up to me if I want to continue.
Yes. I put the device back and enter the cave.
Look there. What's this?
Oh, that is suggesting that it got disconnected and is now reconnected.
Should I click on it?
Yeah, just say take no action.
Okay.
I put the device back and enter the cave. We wake up Zanya and she goes outside to guard the entrance as me and Darren go to sleep. I wake up to Zanya's voice several hours later. She's whispering and making sure that Darren can't hear us.
Wake up, Stillwater.
She says.
I need your help with something.
Oh my god.
Oh.
What's going on here? Say to drive. You having some trouble, buddy?
I thought you were, like, safe to drive, and I was like, yeah, none of us have had alcohol. I mean, I've had a little, but...
Yeah, I mean, I did too.
When? At your parents'?
You gave it to me.
Tonight?
The cider.
Oh, right. The
but
thing
also,
I
yes,
took,
I
like,
had a mojito
one
at my
sip
parents'.
of.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, you need my help?
Be quiet. You'll wake Darren. Yes, I need you to come with me and take a look at something. It won't take you more than a minute.
And why would I help you? All you've done is give me a hard time ever since we met.
I would have stomped on your balls
Right
then and there.
Right.
Because then I'd owe a debt to you, and I always pay my debts.
She's being serious. This must be more important to her than she lets on. Why are you asking this of me and not Darren? He's the legendary mage around here, not me.
Wait, what? Because then I'd owe a debt to you?
Yeah, I think it's for being escort or something.
But she only hired the other dude, technically.
Wait, okay, yeah, so hold on. Come with her, look at something. Why does she need his help? Because then I'd owe a debt to you and I always pay my debts.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah,
make any
even
sense.
if
Because literally, her asking for help means that she owes him a debt.
Yeah.
So...
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure it wasn't just me. I was like, wait, what? Because unlike him, you appear to be very knowledgeable in more obscure intricacies of magic. That's true. You don't see many people these days that know how a stat booster works. Plus, I have something I want to ask you in private, so come before we wake up Darren.
We exit the cave and head for the trees. The moon is still pretty high up in the sky. It can't have been more than 2 or 3 hours since I went to sleep. As we walk in awkward silence for a few minutes, I figure I might as well try to start a conversation.
Oh, 2 to 3 hours. It'd be like, nah, I'm going back to sleep. Ask me later. Well, she's going to discuss, but I want to ask her how she knows the stat device works. I need to know if this is like a rare thing or like why don't more people use it?
So, how did you come to know the true function of the stat device? I asked Zanya. She gives me a pondering look, probably trying to decide how much of the truth she's willing to disclose to me.
The stat boosters were created on this continent. Okay. I was born here as well. It is more common for people on this continent to know what these devices do than it is for people in the rest of the world. Okay, thank you.
Wait, you were born here? Didn't you come here as a participant in this tournament?
I was born here, but I don't spend my whole life here. It's not so easy to return here once you've left. However, that should be in the beginning. I use this tournament as a means to come back because I have some unfinished business to attend to. Finding your friend.
And I'm guessing this unfinished business of yours is somehow related to this thing you want me to look at. She doesn't make any comment, but her silence is enough to confirm my hypothesis. Zanya decides to completely change the subject instead. She stops in front of me and looks me straight in the eye.
It's rare, alright. I mean, that's all I wanted to know, man. I know in your heart of hearts you'll trust my recommendation. Yeah, I wish the writing was better, but, you know, dead, so. There's something that's been bugging me ever since we met yesterday.
She says.
Yeah, me too. Are you a banshee or not? Like, can you just, like, it seems like if I came across someone who is, like, on a DNA level impossible to exist, I'd be like, nah, you gotta explain how you can use magic. Because if you're not a banshee, then what the fuck is this?
I
Like,
have a feeling it's just like a Salem witch trial kind of thing, where it's just like, women can't know magic, therefore you are a banshee, so we kill you. So it's self-selecting.
to be fair, though, the Salem witch trials apparently was actually about taking the land from women.
Yeah, I know, you sent me the thing yesterday.
Yeah.
I just meant it in the sense of, like...
Which, like, I want to look into for verification. I don't know why they would lie. But, like, that makes me hate men so much more. And it makes so much more sense than, like... Because, honestly, if you literally were in front of a person and was like, prove you're a witch and you can do magic, they literally could not.
No, yeah. I mean, it wasn't... There was literally no way out of it without dying. That was the point.
Yeah, but it's like... Like, I still wanted to understand, like, how people could be so stupid. But now it just makes sense that men just wanted more power and taking property. Like, that 100% makes sense.
Your line. Very top.
Didn't I just say that? There's something that's been bugging me ever since yesterday when we met. And then I said, yeah, the banshee thing. It's your turn.
Yeah, this is...
Oh, that's
your
the
line
second
too.
one. Oh,
Sorry.
when you and Darren first saw me, you started whispering between yourselves for about a minute. You said you were trying to decide whether I was a banshee or not. And Darren said you already established I wasn't one.
She paused a bit before she continues.
The question is why? I decided to seek Darren's help because I fooled myself into thinking someone as kind-hearted as him would not sentence me to death. But now that I have cleared my head and thought about it, I realize how much risk I I realize how much I've put myself at risk by showing myself to him. Why did Darren decide I wasn't a banshee when all the evidence pointed to the contrary? You could literally just say what you are, though.
Zanya still doesn't trust me. If I tell her I'm the one that convinced Darren to spare her life, she's either not gonna believe me, or she'll get suspicious of my motives and completely lose her trust in Darren.
What?
Maybe she'll believe me if I tell her Darren was the one that decided not to purify her. She gets suspicious of my motives and completely... Wait.
Yeah, what?
Okay, hold on, I just have to reread it. If I tell her I'm the one that convinced Darren, she's either not going to believe me, or she'll get suspicious of my motives and completely lose her trust in Darren. I think that he's saying, like, she'll wonder why he saved her and also completely distrust Darren.
But, like, his answer to why he saved her is because he's just like, I don't think we should accidentally kill an innocent person. Like, that's fair. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think that's suspicious at all.
Easy enough reason.
Darren, oh, that's you.
Darren said he'd met a banshee before. I lied to her. He said he could tell you were different somehow, and that he was going to keep an eye on you for the time being.
I see.
Zanya says with relief in her voice.
That's all I wanted to ask. Let's keep going then.
Wait, why ask me all of this? Why not ask Darren directly?
Because Darren is the one that knows white magic, not you. He's the one who would normally want to purify a banshee. I didn't want to give him any ideas in case the thought never occurred to him.
And why would you believe that I'm telling the truth? Okay, so...
Because you're not a very good liar, that your face gives you away.
Okay, well, so maybe she doesn't believe him and she just needed to know what his answer was so that she could decide whether or not. You know, like, because it's like either way he gives himself away, you know?
I mean, you could bend over backwards trying to justify that plot hole. I'm gonna put another mark on the chalkboard.
Is that so?
It is so. Look at it. The chalkboard has 3 marks on it already.
Well, in that case, I also have a question for you. You may not be a banshee, but you can't be a mage either. Women can't be born as mages, so what are you?
Who says I was born as a mage?
My mind goes blank for a second while I try to make sure I understood what she said correctly.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Sorry.
Yeah. Hold on. Do you mean to tell me that you were born as a normal human and you later became a mage?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
How? Did you get access to the Magium? How did you do it? I must know. I realized too late that I had let the excitement get the better of me. Zanya is looking at me with an expression that shows both bewilderment and a sudden understanding.
By the gods,
She says.
you were telling the truth, weren't you? You really are a human, and you came here in hopes of becoming a mage. Listen to me. I have no idea what could motivate you enough to go on this request, but the only things that you'll find at the end of your journey will be agony and despair. Quit now, and you might still make it out of this alive.
You speak to me of agony and despair, but you chose to become a mage. Surely you must understand how I feel about this.
I do not, because becoming a mage was never my intention, and I have no intention of continuing this conversation either. I give you a warning. You can choose to heed it, or you can ignore it. That's all I'm willing to say on the subject.
Before giving me a chance to respond, she storms ahead as I rush to follow her. We traveled in complete silence for the next 10 minutes. As we get further and further away from the cave, I call out to her again. Wait, I tell her.
Nani?
We're getting too far away from our cave. What if anyone attacks Darren while he's asleep?
Oh, you don't need to worry about him. Oh, why not? Oh, are you suggesting that he can defend himself while asleep? Damn you, I'm not leaving my friend behind. Why not?
Why not?
See for yourself. Go on, try and head back into our cave.
Hesitantly, I start retracing my steps back toward the cave. Once I start walking, however, I get a powerful urge to go the other way. I try again and I get the same result. No matter how many times I try, I simply can't keep going in the same direction. I keep turning in the opposite direction sometimes without even noticing. Is this some sort of spell? In all of my research, I've never read of such a thing. What did you do? I asked Zanya.
I see. Apparently not even someone as learned as you would be familiar with this spell. It is understandable. They don't usually use suggestion magic outside the continent of Varathia, after all. The spell I use is part of a subset of magic called suggestion. What these spells do is that they insert an idea inside your head, and they make you think you were the one to come up with it. You may have not noticed that something was wrong because you were specifically aiming to go in that direction, but most mages wandering around this area wouldn't even notice the spell's effect.
But how do I get around it?
In order to counteract the spell, all you need to do is focus on the cave, visualize it clearly inside your head when you head towards it. As long as you have a set destination inside your head and not simply a general direction. But he did.
You're right.
The spell won't work on you. My knowledge of the spell was one of the only reasons I was able to survive against banshee hunters for so long. It covers a pretty large area.
The look on her face, chat.
But unfortunately, I can only cast it about 2 times a day, and it doesn't last for more than a few hours. Now let's go. Our destination lies not much farther.
After about 5 more minutes of walking, we finally come to a halt. The area we stopped in is full of fallen
I'm sorry,
trees.
no. But wouldn't you cast suggestion on a person?
Isn't that what she did?
So she casted it on every single living being within reason to the cave?
I don't know. Well, it could be a, oh no, it's like an area of effect thing, right?
That's what I'm asking. Like, I thought it was like you send a suggestion to someone and they think it's theirs. But to say everyone who walks into the square mileage will all have the same suggestion doesn't seem like that's how that spell would work.
It covers a large area.
It's
Okay,
a
so
warded area.
yeah, that sounds to me like it's anybody within the range.
That is wild, because then what if it's like multiple people and they're all of a sudden like, yeah, let's all go in. Okay, never mind.
Then they get turned around and lost. Okay. After about 5 minutes of walking, we come to a halt. The area is stopped and is full of fallen trees, similar to the one where we fought yesterday, except this time there are no bodies. However, there's clearly been a big battle here. Perhaps even the battle that charged up my stat device before going to sleep. I can still feel the traces of leftover magic resonating strongly in the air around me.
This is where I wanted to bring you. Please, tell me what you can tell by studying the magic in this place.
As I concentrate on the nature of the magic around me, I start sensing strong traces of elemental magic. It seems there's been at least one elementalist battling here, I tell her.
Yes, but can you tell which element the caster was using?
I try to focus even further. It's, I'm not sure how to describe it. It doesn't seem to be any of the 4 traditional elements. If I were to put it in words, I'd say it would be electric in nature.
Kilowatt?
Oh, Kate's face. Zanya's face slowly lights up when she hears my words. This is the first time I've ever seen her smile, even if only slightly, ever since we first met.
Thank you, Barry. Thanks, Lux. You've been really great help.
Her reaction took me by surprise. Wow, this is the first time I see this. This is the first time I see this side of you. I didn't know you could actually be nice.
What's that supposed to mean?
You know what it means, bish.
This bitch literally was just like, there's no way you could be one of my parents. They're way too nice and you're too mean.
Suddenly, I see a vision of a dart being shot towards Zanya. I realize immediately that what I've just seen was a premonition, but where did the dart come from? I turn back, and I start looking carefully towards the trees in the far distance. As I look towards the forest, I spot 2 shadowy figures hiding behind one of the trees. One of them seems to be holding a crossbow, and it's aimed right at Kate. What happened? Oh, sorry.
What happened?
Asks Kate.
What are you looking for?
The man behind the tree shoots his crossbow, but I was waiting for it. Look out, I say, as I burp, and I push Kate, Zanya, out of the dart's way.
Oh, that's the
sorry,
new
yeah.
guy, I guess.
You blundering buffoon! I can hear a man shout from behind the trees. His voice, you blundering buffoon! His voice is high-pitched and could easily be mistaken for that of a woman, if you weren't paying attention. How did you manage to miss that shot? Plan B! Go for Plan B now! Suddenly, all of the trees around us get covered in a cloud of smoke. Between the lack of light, the distance, and the smoke screen, it's now almost impossible to tell where our enemies are hiding, except for the vague sense of their magic auras. Surrender, Banshee, says the man with a high-pitched voice. We have you surrounded. There's no way you can tell where we are through this thick smoke. If you surrender, we'll grant you and your human companion the gift of a quick and painless death. Yet another enemy who doesn't believe I'm a Stillwater. I'm starting to doubt that this bluff was a good idea after all.
I mean, you didn't announce it. Like, why would you think that everyone would assume that?
Yeah.
Like, if it was like, the tournament was introducing all the competitors and he was like, I'm a Stillwater, then sure.
Mm-mm.
Is this a joke?
Said Zanya.
I can sense that there's at least 100 of you hiding behind the trees all around us, and yet none of you are mages. Do you seriously think you can win against mages by outnumbering them?
Mages are no gods. They bleed just like the rest of us. If they bleed, they can be killed, and so can you. After he finishes his phrase, he blows a very loud horn, which drowns out all other sounds in the woods, and suddenly a rain of crossbow bolts comes flying towards us from every direction. Kate quickly makes an ice dome around us to block their shots.
Barry, can you see them through the smoke?
I take a look through her semi-transparent ice dome and try to see if I can distinguish any figures through the distant smoke screen. It appears that even with all of the unfavorable circumstances, I can still see our enemies clearly enough. This observation stat is truly amazing. Yes, I can see them clear as crystal.
Good. Then you will be my eyes. When I dismiss this dome, I want you to give me all of their positions. All 100 of them.
Yeah, you want like coordinates or something?
I mean, you could literally just shoot in all directions and probably hit a good chunk of them. Just fireball that shit. But like ice version.
Ice ball.
Yeah. And I will take care... Oh.
What?
We'll see a fireball as it's like going, catch things on fire around it and spread. But I guess an ice ball is just pure force. So it wouldn't spread. It would just like push in that direction and maybe shatter.
What if it was like an Arctic wind?
then that's force.
Just a cold blast.
But yeah, it could also, yeah. It appears that, and I will take care of them while shielding you from any attacks. Cone of cold. Take the dagger and go for the crossbowman first. As you kill everyone, you can use the crossbow or rely on strength. Oh, okay.
Actually, I'd rather help by fighting the enemies head on. Could you make an ice dagger for me?
Seriously?
Zanya pauses a bit to reflect on my words.
Fine. Do as you wish.
She finally says, as she conjures an ice dagger and hands it to me. When I grab it, I realize the hilt is also made out of ice, but its shape makes it easy enough for me to hold on to, and this is not the time and place to whine about how cold it feels in my hand. She opens
Ain't
up
no way
her...
that shit would slip out of your grip so quick.
Yeah, or just give you frostbite after a bit.
Right?
She opens up her ice dome as I step out and make a run for the forest. Once I've passed through the smoke screen, I notice a man behind a tree reloading his crossbow. His back is turned to me, and he didn't hear me coming yet.
I don't think they should die.
I stealthily approach him, and when I'm close enough, I hit him in the back of the head with the hilt of my dagger. Before losing his consciousness, however, he manages to let out a faint scream, which will no doubt alert some of the crossbowmen, which are positioned closer.
It's fine.
Sure enough, 5 of the men that were shooting Kate are now rushing towards me, Zanya, to see what happened. It will only be a matter of seconds before they see me. I need to act fast. I quickly look all around to see what my options are. I notice that the crossbow of the man I knocked unconscious is in fact a repeating crossbow, and it was just reloaded with exactly 5 shots. If I aim my shots right, I might be able to take them all out.
Do it.
I quickly grab the crossbow from the ground and jump right in front of the 5 men, aiming for the one in the middle. My combat technique has taught me enough about vital organs in order to be able to shoot him in the chest without puncturing his lungs. I do the same for one of his comrades, and then I hide behind a tree while 3 crossbow bolts fly right past me. 3 shots. I've only got 3 shots left. I jump out from behind the tree and aim for the ones that are still standing. Instead of hiding behind trees themselves, the 3 uninjured men form a wall in front of their fallen allies, in order to make sure I don't finish them off. This is good for me. It's much easier to aim for them when they're out in the open. I fire 2 more shots, still making sure not to hit their vital organs, and both men drop to the ground with a loud thump. The last man standing fires a bolt towards me, but I dodge it in the nick of time and aim for him next. Once I shot him, he fell to the ground like all the others, screaming in pain. I quickly made myself scarce, before their screams would attract other crossbowmen to this place.
Honestly, I'd be running away from people screaming in pain and agony versus like, let me run towards them. But I guess they're like, we must help.
Well, yeah, no, they're hearing the struggle and they say, I need to help.
This is why they die.
These ones were in no position to follow me. Just continue. I take a glance towards the clearing to see how Zanya is doing. It seems she's given up on trying to aim through the smoke and instead conjured some enormous fans made out of ice that are currently in the process of blowing away all the smoke. As the smoke clears away, I can see hundreds of ice blades forming in the air above Zanya. She sends them flying all at once in all directions. Like
exactly.
you said. The crossbowmen didn't even know what hit them. They were dead before they got to lift their gaze. It appears she didn't really need my help after all. Since there's nothing left for me to do here, I go back to where Zanya is standing.
I'm just like, okay, I won't kill any and everyone. And she's just like, murder! Which is, you know, that is very like me in D&D.
It's okay, baby.
Murder. I love how this particular chapter is way longer than the other ones. The pacing is not even.
After I pick up the crossbow, I see that an enormous hand made out of ice is now holding their leader by the back of his tunic and dragging him towards us, while he's frantically struggling to break free. By the looks of his fancy garments, he appears to be some rich noble from one of the more prosperous cities of the West. That would explain how he could motivate so many people to follow him in this Sudoku mission.
Let me go, I order you in the name of the Duke of Bagelberry. Unhand me.
The ice hand ignores him completely and throws him at our feet. As he sees us, the man lets out a loud squeak and jumps back. He trips over his own feet and lands on his rear. Please, please! The tone of his voice is completely changed, and he sounds like he's about to cry. He throws himself at my feet. I only wanted to become famous by winning the tournament. I'm sorry I attacked you. Please don't kill me. I have a lot of money. Here, you can take it. You can take it all. Just spare my life, please. He throws a bag of golden coins on the ground as he throws himself at my feet. This is quite a lot of money. I could easily live most of my remaining life in luxury with just this amount.
Sorry, Dilate. Zanya never turns down no money. What an achievement for being poor when I can achieve being rich. Doesn't make no sense.
Hello, I like money.
Yeah, don't. Kill him, but don't take his money.
Wow, that's the worst option.
Pressure him to tell me where he's hiding the rest of his gold.
She's thinking about it, chat.
I am thinking about it. You know what? Let's do it. You're telling me... Oh,
you're telling me I can have all your money? I tell him. But that's not all your money, is it? Where are you hiding the rest of it?
What do you mean? That's all I have with me. The rest of my fortune lies in my mansion in the Western continent.
I know your type. You would never keep all your money in one place, especially in a place like this. You must have a secret stash hidden somewhere around here in case of an emergency.
That's all I have, I swear.
Fine. I point my crossbow at his head.
Wait, you're right, there's more. I've buried some gold next to that tree over there just to be safe, but that's the last of my money, I swear.
I go over to the tree he was talking about and start digging out his treasure to verify that he's telling the truth. There's even more gold here than there was in his bag. I very much doubt that this is the last of his hidden stashes, but I'm probably not going to get any more info out of him at this point. I go back to where Zanya and the Duke of Bagelberry are standing. See, says the Duke, it's all there and it's yours now.
Kill! Oh, you're fine.
Very well, I'll take your money in exchange for your life. Now get out of my sight. I never want to see you again.
You'll never see me again, I promise.
He scrambles to his feet and starts to run away. Before he even takes his first step, however, a spike made out of ice pops out of the ground and impales him through his chest.
Oh, well...
Why did...
He attempts to say, before his head drops to the side and his expression goes blank.
Kate, what did you do? Zanya, what did you do? I was trying to spare his life.
And you did. Congratulations! Thanks to you, his lifespan was extended by a whole 3 seconds. You should be proud.
How could you do this? He was defenseless. He surrendered to us.
Yes, and I offered him a quick and painless death.
Oh no, he was conscious for a little bit.
Isn't that what he said he'd give us if we surrendered?
That doesn't mean we have to act like him. Zanya sighs.
Listen, Barry.
She says.
I didn't kill this man for petty revenge. I killed him because once he would have calmed down, he'd have started procuring himself a new army, and he would have likely made it his mission to hunt us down. I thought about that, but then we would have just killed the new people. So,
More gold.
Yeah. So that he could take his petty revenge on us. This was visibly a very resourceful man. It's not easy to convince a whole battalion of men to follow you to certain doom. I highly doubt he was the kind of person to easily let go of a grudge either. And as I pointed out earlier, he most definitely didn't strike me as a merciful type. Don't you think we're in enough danger as it is without adding some enemies that are looking to kill us specifically?
I didn't think of it that way.
No, you didn't. Now come on, let's go back to our cave. We're done here.
And I take the bag of coins and the rest of the treasure and follow Zanya.
That was a sleeping dart, you know.
Zanya tells me as we make our way back to the camp.
The dart you saved me from. I'm not sure what would have happened if you hadn't intervened.
She stops for a little and then looks at me.
That's twice I owe you now, Barry. Did you ever consider opening up a bank?
I'll give that a thought after the end of the tournament. We spend the rest of our trip back in silence, but I didn't really find it awkward anymore. After all we've been through this morning, a bit of quiet is more than welcome.
Alright. I'm going to save here. Manually. Just because I have to be up extremely early, because tomorrow is my first day of my internship. So I was planning to stop at 11 regardless of what time we started today. So that was cute though. I almost clicked the wrong button and he's gone.
I'm gone, so I can't speak.
Wow, where's my fun gun? We probably have.
Nobody knows what song I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I have my background music playing, so okay. Let me check to see if any of my mutuals are Oh yeah, the keyboard stopped working. Why don't you tell me the cord was wonky? Did you plug it?
It shouldn't be wonky.
You were fiddling with it earlier. And now it's like
wasn't.
not-
I literally just plugged it in.
No, I saw you. You were like, huh? What?
No, I was kicking up the legs.
What? But the cord is all wonky.
It shouldn't be.
It is, though. Anyway. Let's see. And we'll be back on Tuesday, because remember, I have class on Mondays now, so just until my class is over, we will be on Tuesdays. Very much rather Mondays. Thank you, Dachirella. It's graphic design, so I'm hoping I'll just have a bunch of fun things to work on. And it won't be too stressful, but we'll see. It kind of depends on management and how the feedback loop works and all that jazz.
Oh, that yes.
Yes. But yes, I like the story so far. Even despite its holes and weird and blah 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 blah. It's not bad though. Not bad at all.
It does have a scrappy D&D vibe.
Yeah, scrappy D&D vibe. I think we have, so we have, why am I following you? You're that
Yep.
problematic group.
I don't know who that is anyway.
Oh, you don't recognize this one that caused that whole witch hunt about the LOLI people, and then
Oh yeah. Okay.
this is I don't know why they're on my what was I saying? Oh, we have split fiction to do. We have lost records that we're doing, and wasn't I playing one other game too?
Yeah. I can't remember right now.
Was it the Sons of the Forest?
Yeah, you are still playing Sons of the Forest, but that wasn't what I was thinking of.
I thought there was like one more narrative-driven one.
Yeah.
I know we but we're still doing Life is Strange, but I thought there was something else.
Well, we started not split fiction. We started It Takes Two, but
Um,
yeah. It's basically, split fiction, but older.
yeah. And I already beat It Takes Two, so I'm less interested in returning to that. Right now, at least.
Dale_0303 has offered you a favor, my queen.
I know I wanted to play Soma soon. Oh, and then we were doing the Bridge
Curse.
2.
Yeah, you said you wanted to do that for your birthday.
Yeah, because
Which we are not going to be in.
No, we are. The 27th, we leave on the 28th.
Oh, the 27th. Okay, that makes sense.
I was like, I know what you're doing, and just no.
Good.
Yeah, I wanted to play that. Although, Maybe I'll be drunk. Oh yeah, Silent Hill 2 remake is on sale. It's still about $40, I think.
Yeah, I don't see anything else in your past broadcasts that you're in the middle of playing.
Ah, okay.
That as far as they go back, which is not long.
I love cake. I actually have cake. I made some lemon cake. Maybe I'll get a Silent Hill 2 specifically for Gotcharella. While it's on sale. I feel like if you stick around in the savannah long enough,
you're entitled to a game suggestion.
Well, everyone gets something. Like, Riley got a mug, and Gotcharella can get Silent Hill 2. And I feel like... I forgot what he ended his, the Patriot dude. I haven't seen him for a while.
Patriot dude. Oh, Rogue?
No, not Rogue. The young one.
Big Lion?
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Lion.
Yeah, whatever happened to Big Lion?
I think he posted in the Discord not long ago saying he's been busy or something.
Okay, well, I was gonna do Undertale for him, I think it was.
You should do Undertale for yourself. No, I'm just kidding. I know you hate the gameplay style.
I just hate it so much. But yeah, I feel like all long-term people eventually get something from me just because I don't know. I feel like if I like it just happens for me just liking you as a person at some point. So, yeah, don't overthink it. I don't know. I feel like you've given a lot to me by being in the savannah and being around so long and sticking around, especially all the other people that were here for a while, but they still eventually faded. But Gotcharella and Diley have been
sticking it out with us.
Yeah, through literally everything, even things they don't find as interesting, they stick through it. So. I don't feel like it's any sort of a lift to do something for y'all.
100%.
Yeah, exactly, Gotcharella, but I'll play it when they're back from being busy. I also want to play Killer Frequency. There's so many games I want to play.
Yeah, as your Steam library suggests.
Yeah, but I will definitely return to this. I feel like I do want to return to this, but maybe not right away. Because there's other stories I want to be told to me without me having to have Luxia reading.
Yeah, my voice is probably not going to be happy with me tomorrow.
Tell your boss that you were streaming and being a voice actor.
Listen, I'm planning on splitting on this job to go to Hollywood. Gotta get that career going.
Well, first, let's just join our local gamer group.
Hollywood!
What? No.
What?
I said local gaming group.
I know. Then my joke was, no, forget the local gaming group. Go
I thought you were saying, yeah, Hollywood. I'm like, we are not in Hollywood.
No.
Can you imagine?
But if I'm being real, I would never want to live in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's exactly, we would be miserable there.
Uh-huh.
God. Okay, chat.
That being said,
there's no one I want to raid into, not because I don't like I don't like raiding into collabs, not gonna lie. The Hollywood in California.
You know, the Hollywood.
Yeah. Yes, Gotcha, I believe in you. If Lux can sound like
Hey
a
mama, Dale_0303 wants you to raid their friend. Here's what they said, Pomade Master.
YouTube videos about voice training for people who want to transition.
Will you learn sign language with me?
Was that directed at me?
Yeah.
Oh.
You're such a whore.
Wow.
You never want to help me with anything that isn't stream related.
What do you mean?
need a study buddy.
I mean, I can help you study. I wasn't planning on dedicating time to learning ASL.
Well, how do you help me study?
Flashcards. What? It's like
I need
standard.
practice having conversations. I can hold a flashcard up for myself. Is this? Yeah, I'm gonna make it very clear to this person that this was a raid, my friend. Very clear. Of no confusion
You've
there.
rated this person before.
But I'm not. Oh, am I following them? Oh yeah, I am. Okay, that's what I thought. But I thought it says I'm confused this part.
Mm-hmm.
Although, what's scuff science? That sounds a little interesting. I'm always shy. Very shy person, actually. But then once I feel comfy, I'm like, good. I was like, what? I was like, oh, why hasn't Lux done the raid message yet?
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah, what? Why? She's looking. I'm a very shy person. I don't have to be shy with y'all, though, because y'all are like my peoples. So we'll be rating Dilee's person, other person, Roar for science. My subject's here. Match all around to scientific wonders. Oh, that's kind of cute. Oh no, go away, please, Frosty. If I follow you, will you go away, Frosty?
By definition, if you follow somebody, they do not go away.
Stalker! Stalker. Oh yeah, I mean, people definitely approach me, and I'm like, what? Why are you here? Why are you talking to me? Please stop talking to me. I have a very good customer service demeanor, though, unfortunately.
Would you call that a smooth demeanor?
Oh, smooth. It's been a hot second. Thank you for the likes. I'm the shy one here to this day. You guys know nothing of me. I feel like I know just perverted predilections of yours, which I feel like is knowing more of someone than I would rather know. But anyway, I will see you on Tuesday. Good night, Gotcha. Good night, Diary. And I hope to see you all on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you for wishing me luck on my first day, Gatrella. I will let y'all know how it goes. Ready for the blood? Daddy did not respond to that.